Ignore Chris, sir.
Yeah, ignore Chris, yeah. He's going to get a complex because I keep saying that to everybody.
Ignore him.
Right folks, you now join us on the Massey Ferguson stand at LAMMA Show 2025. Last year the big news, Gareth, was 9S. Your new 9S, which we had a good look round last year, which is just hiding over there. This year we're at the other end of the scale with the introduction of the new 5M. So, to talk us through this new development from Massey Ferguson, we've got Mr. Gareth Goodchild. So Gareth, kick us off. I mean, first start off, just sort of flesh out what is in the 5M series.
So, as you'll be aware, I mean, you'll be familiar with the 5700M, right?
Yeah.
So that was, by all accounts, one of Massey's best sellers in this country. This tractor is largely based on that, okay,
right,
with some key improvements. So, first of all, horsepower. They've opened the horsepower range up on this one, so there's 6 models in the range.
Yeah.
95 to 145 horsepower, okay? That's number one. Whereas before, the envelope was smaller on the 57M.
Right, so you've gone bigger.
Right? So
right,
you can appeal to more people in that respect,
yeah,
power-wise. Second of all, the 57M before was either a 12x12 manual transmission or Dyna 4 full power shift.
Right.
Right? This one is only Dyna 4 full power shift. Because
right,
that's what people want, generally.
That was generally the box that they were ticking.
Yeah.
So you've sacked off the synchromesh box, basically.
I mean, when you think this one now, it's 145 horsepower. Nowadays, people don't really want a manual, do they? They go for a power shift.
Right.
So it's appealing to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Additionally, there's 2 wheelbases. So we've got a short wheelbase, which would be in the bottom 3, so the 95, 105, 115.
Yeah.
And then a large wheelbase, which would be the top 3.
Right.
So those are like physical differences with it.
And what's making that physical difference? Is it the size of the engine, basically?
No, engine is exactly the same.
On all of them?
Exactly.
Right.
So it's that 4.4 litre 4-cylinder AGCO power engine, which was in the 57M before, same as in the 5S as well. So it's a lovely, efficient, powerful little engine, no need to change that. What has changed is because we're now only Dyna 4.
Yeah.
The large wheelbase has got the same transmission as a 5S.
Right, as the one behind
us,
here.
which is a Dyna 4.
Yeah.
And the short wheelbase has the same transmission as the Dyna 4 you would have got in the old 57M.
Okay.
All right. So as a result, one's a bit longer than the other.
Got you.
All right.
Right.
So yeah, there's about 20 centimetres in it.
Yeah.
Which can, of course, if you want a short wheelbase, it's lovely and manoeuvrable. You want a longer one for a bit more stability on the road in a field, you can.
Yeah. There you go. So 5M effectively then, obviously you've got your 5M over here, 5S on this side. So is 5M effectively kind of a lower spec version, option compared to 5S?
Exactly. It would generally be considered for somebody that doesn't want all the bells and whistles of a 5S.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fantastic tractor, no doubt about it. You've got lovely visibility, especially with a loader. This will do everything that will do, I guess, especially now, because it's got technology offerings added to it, which I'm sure you'll ask me about. But it's just generally a bit of it's more of a mid-spec tractor, whereas that would be more of a high-spec.
Yeah.
You can put more on one of those should you want to.
Right, got you. So this is really sort of upped its game, really, in terms of, like I say, there's more power, there's more spec choice.
Yeah. I mean, the other big thing, I don't know if you can see it on the roof, but can you see the guidance receiver? Yeah. On the old 57s, you couldn't get guidance at all. Right. I'm not talking section control, variable rate. I mean basic auto steer.
You couldn't get nothing.
Okay. Right. And that made it. Yeah, it was very, very popular, but it was only really applicable to like a livestock farm or a small mixed farm or someone that doesn't need guidance. Right. Now, you can have guidance on it if you want, right up to RTK level with variable rate, section control, the works. Should you want it. Right. So it's still basically that 57M package, a nice, good value little loader tractor, but if you want to spec it to suit more people, you can.
You can do. And then if you want even more, you're up to your 5S.
Exactly.
Then. That's, I suppose that's the differentiator then.
Yeah.
And then you get your slopey bonnet and all
you
kinds
get
of other
the better
bits and
visibility, bit higher spec.
Right. So while we're round the rear end then, just talk us through some of your capacities, lift capacity, pump capacities, that sort of stuff.
So it depends on which wheelbase you go for. Okay. So if you go for the smaller 3 horsepowers, you'll get a lower rear lift. From memory, it's 4.2 or 4.3 ton on the lower, the short wheelbase.
Yeah.
If you go for a longer one, because it's got a different back end, it's got a more similar back end to the 5S.
Okay, right.
You're up to just over 5 ton.
Right.
Again, 5.2 or 5.3 from memory.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first difference. Hydraulics-wise, it's quite a basic, simple, reliable hydraulic system on this. So it's open center only.
Okay, right.
Okay, so you can
so
have
no load sensor or anything like that.
No,
right.
and that's another difference with the 5S.
Yeah, that gets that.
You can have that on that if you want to.
Right.
You'd be 57 or 58 litres per minute in a single pump configuration, or up to 100 litres per minute on a dual pump on this if you want it.
Right.
But yeah, open centre.
So you still kind of got your famous high flow,
yeah,
Massey style hydraulics.
Exactly.
Ideal for the loaders. Keep those revs down.
Exactly. I mean, you can see on the back, you can get it with Isobus as well.
Yeah.
Also coming through that Field Star 5 terminal.
Right.
So if you wanted to run an Isobus rake or something on it, you could.
Really go nuts with spec on this, really.
Yeah,
it has really elevated itself, hasn't it?
It has.
Compared to what it was before. So if this was just a bit much for me in terms of spec, what would be your other offering if you wanted something simpler? Do you still do a model with a synchromesh box in, or?
Not in a 5M.
No.
If you wanted a synchromesh box in, you'd now be down to the 4700.
Right.
The 3-cylinder.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's, I guess, the most basic tractor we offer right now.
So you're still doing your 4700?
Yeah.
Will that become 4M at some point, maybe? Or?
No comment.
No comment.
Yeah.
That's a yes then.
Yeah. we to be honest, we don't really know what's happening with that, but for the foreseeable, that tractor will continue.
That's it.
Of course, that's the only one we offer in 2-wheel drive and without a cab. So
yeah. Well, speaking of cab, while we're here, sorry, can I just get in there? Come on, Cameron, Chris, slide in there, have a look. Yeah, talk us through cabs. So, has there any changes in here at all compared to 5700s? Or
I mean, generally it's very similar, okay, which is no bad thing. The biggest thing you'll notice is that great big screen in front of you, your guidance, your Isobus, and everything else will come through that, okay?
So is that CVTronic-HF?
That's a Field Star 5.
Field Star 5,
right? Because remember, this is still quite a basic spec tractor. So if it was to be a DataTronic 5, that would be to control your spool valve flows,
that's right,
all the rest of it. And because it's manual spools and open center, there's nothing to control.
No, so you just need your lower spec Field Star 5.
Exactly. That is solely for guidance, Isobus, cameras if you had them, that kind of thing. All right.
Cool. Is this new? Is this curvy glass new? This? Oh, here. Have you had that before? Or?
Yeah, we've had that before.
Right.
Yeah. There's one thing I really like about that cab is the Visio roof, which you're looking at now with like the panel above your head, so you can see your loader headstock a bit better. You've got a really nice thin,
cross member.
Cross member, whatever you call it. It's really nice and thin, so your visibility is pretty grand through this one.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about sort of cab comfort? Can you get cab suspension on this, or front axle suspension on the 5M?
So cab suspension is a yes. Okay. This is available with mechanical cab suspension.
Right.
So that's one. Generally, apart from that, the cab is by and large the same. There's a couple of changes with buttons on your right-hand side, but generally it's a very, very similar cab. They haven't changed too much.
Yeah.
They've just sort of tried to appeal to what
Evolve
people
it
wanted.
a little bit.
Yeah, just add the technology offering, make it more appealing to a wider range of people, more horsepower, and power shift only.
Right.
And it's just, I guess it is that if it isn't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly, yeah.
Kind of mantra, but.
And I suppose you might be now appealing to some of those people that were kind of looking for a little bit more spec, that would have then had to have looked at your 5S, but now they don't have to because you've got a bit more spec on your 5M.
Exactly. If you didn't want to spend as much money, and this did everything you wanted, then this is the one. This is what you need.
Perfect.
If you don't prioritise that sloping bonnet and all of the other features that a 5S offers, then this will do it all.
This will do the job.
Yeah.
And obviously you got all your new latest Massey styling on there.
Oh yeah. That's the MF New neo-retro design.
Yeah,
you know, the
got the
grey
fangs
cap
on the
and
front,
the
yeah.
fangs on the front, the sabre. Yeah, everything's going the same way. We've got it on the loader as well now, see?
All right.
Yeah, the loaders have
You've given
taken
them a little bit of bling as well.
Yeah.
There you go. Let Chris catch up. He's coming. There he is. Bit of grey on the loader there.
Yeah.
Cool. So availability-wise, this ready to order this now, or?
I believe they're ready to order. Yeah. Do you know what? I don't know when they'll start hitting our shores. It'll be a few months, I would think.
Yeah.
A couple of months maybe, but yeah, you can definitely order one.
Cool. All we know is that in a couple of days' time, we'll be having this.
Oh yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
So
you'll give it a run for its money, I'm sure.
Yeah, coming up in probably in a few weeks or a couple of months or whatever, we'll have the full review on this after it's been up to us at Preston. So job is a good one. Gareth, as ever, thank you very much for your time.
No worries at all.
Absolutely spot on. I'll see you in a few days when you give us the full tour of this and
That's
the
it.
full install. But for now though, thank you very much.
No worries.
And we shall move on. So folks, we now move on to the McHale stand, which is showing a couple of new products this year at the LAMMA Show 2025. One of which is this massive trail teddy, and then we'll head on over to the new F5 baler range. So we've got Owen Clark with us, who's going to talk us around the new products. So we'll kick off here, Owen, with this new teddy, monster teddy.
Yeah, look James, thanks for dropping by. New Propel range of tedders. We're a couple of years at this now with the mounted model, the 8-rotor model, and you now have the Propel T10 10-rotor 12.6 metre model, so that's what, roughly 41 foot.
Yeah.
Big machine. Look, we're baling and wrapping for a long time. We're mowing, we're raking, we're now tedders. We are offering a full grassline range.
Yeah, just keep expanding.
That is it, yeah. So, and it's for the farmer, it's for the contractor, it's for the dealer.
Yeah.
Okay. Have the full line for the dealer that they can offer McHale as a full line manufacturer as such for grassline products.
So is this the first trail you've done, or have you had trails before?
No, we've had an 8-rotor trail, so that was probably launched the end of 23 for 24 season, and a few models would have been out prior to that. But this is the 10-rotor first UK launch as such. So here it is at LAMMA Show.
Here she is. So go on, let's talk us through a few features, standout features of this new teddy.
On the trail model, you have a linkage headstock.
Right,
so steer and headstock.
Let's have a look around here.
Steer and heavy duty headstock, okay. You Walter Sheed drive lines all the way back along. You have a nice folding mechanism, double folding, keeping it nice and neat on the road, and your guards are coming up nice and safely. Going back along to the machine, you have great flotation. There's a spring the far side there. That
one over there,
takes that heavy weight back off the back end of the machine.
So that just holds it up a little bit.
It just cushions it.
Yeah, like you would with a mower.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just takes and the rakes as such. It keeps the pressure correct
Yeah.
on that whole back the back rotors as such.
Is that why we see a few weights on the headstock there, just to keep that balance?
Keep it
balanced.
balanced. When you're folding it up, she's kept balanced. When you're steering, she's kept balanced as well, taking corners and everything else.
That's it.
It is running on the main tyres, of course, as well as your rotor wheels. You have this is a 10-rotor machine. You've good simple Hardy spicers there.
You got the UJ joints.
Universal joints is right. All easy greasable. You can see it's double braced there. If there is a maintenance issue, it is easy for mechanics and people
just
to do
split it apart.
You can split it. You're not trying to split the whole thing apart. Double hook tying. Okay, so you have one tying lifting, one tying spreading as such. You are getting a lovely fan effect across them tines, and it is essentially.
Is that ideal for those heavy wet
crops? So you're recycling that crop. You're taking the dry stuff, you're putting it on the bottom, and you're putting the wet stuff on top to dry again.
Yeah.
Okay. You have it. This is your double fold. So then that's the outer rotor that folds inside.
So that goes in,
and then it folds again.
Right.
And you have a headland management system there with the curtain. Okay, and that acts as your deflector plate as
keeping
such.
out the edge bottom.
Keeping out of the hedge.
Keep the rake man happy.
Exactly.
And that's just hydraulic folding, that?
Hydraulic folding.
We don't have to get out and sort that one out.
No, you hop on your tractor, and the only bit of adjusting you're doing is you have a wind handle at the front there, which follows back, and that's just for your height. And then you have each rotor has 5 seconds for your angle. So as you're conditioning or as you're tedding away, you might decide to not be as aggressive and just you'll fan it out and you'll adjust as you do 2 or 3 hay turns you mightn't be as aggressive on the last one as
the first one. You want it pitched.
Yes, you want to get it
up
spread.
and get it up.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, look, as I said, 6 rotor and the first trail, the 8 rotor, will be out a couple of years now, and feedback has been very, very good. This is the first 10 rotor in the UK. Seems to be well received so far today. Bit of interest in it, and look, scale is everything. Contractors and time is money. As
labour, isn't it?
It's labour.
You've got the labour to get off the ground. So
Exactly.
Hence why we have these, isn't it?
So this is it as such, to get through the work and get through the acres. You know. So no, going well.
So
going well.
that is the new Propel.
That's one of the new products.
If we
1 second.
move on over here. It's busy around here, isn't it?
Everyone wants a piece of everyone. So you have the new F5. And,
so this should be fixed chamber, this one,
This is the fixed chamber. So yeah, we launched this at the ploughing, and this is the first time it's been displayed at the UK.
Right, so what's this one replacing?
This is replacing your 5600.
Right.
So you had your F5 range, which is 4 models. You have a F5 540 non-chopper, F5 550, which is your 15 knife standard baler for your contractor or your farmer, which is probably our main seller. You have, and that's a semi-automatic 15 knife baler. Then you have this 560 here, which is a 25 knife, fully automatic. And then if you want film on that, you have the 560, F5 560 plus.
Right.
Okay, so a lot of numbers there, but
they all make sense somewhere.
Yeah, there's a logic to it as such. So
right.
it is essentially the F5 range, and your 40, 50, 60, and your 60 plus is your different models. Main differences coming to your F5 range is the ProfiFlow pickup. Okay, so that is the pickup from a Fusion. The appetite on that machine is second to none as such. Yeah. We've made a lot of changes.
Camless, that one, isn't it?
That's camless, but you still get cam tracks. So look,
so option either or.
Whatever you prefer. You have a crop roller there, springtime crop rollers, keeping the crop down on them tines.
Yeah.
You have adaptive intake. You have a tapered feed channel there. Your augers are at 45 degrees now instead of 90. All the direction and the flow of the crop is back into the mount of the baler. The old brass bars that used to be across, the brass piping that used to be across, is gone. So like when you look into the ProfiFlow pickup now, it's wide open.
Yeah.
It's wide open. The auger is there. It's bigger.
It's a big
brought forward. The torque in that auger, the sprocket is increased, and it's just the hunger is there for it now as such.
Yeah.
So that's the same as what you have in the Fusion.
Right. Is that like a varied drop floor as well?
So as you move back then from your pickup, yes, you have your adaptive intake. So there's a little flex on the front of it.
Yeah.
Behind your pickup bands, there's 3 buffers front and back there, 6 in total, and they allow a little flex. They weight up high for short crop, and then they drop down with a bit of heavy crop. Behind that then you have your drop floor. There's a little bit of flex in the front of your drop floor as well, through rubber springs, and then if your drop floor drops down.
That's just a big mouth.
You can just see in there. You can just see that rotor now so clear.
Yeah. And what's dimensions of this one? 1.
So 1.25, a 4-foot baler.
4-foot baler,
yeah.
4x4.
So, and then with your new F5, you have a new control box as such, which will just, if you were to go off your standard F5 550, that is giving you the iControl 5 console. You're getting in-cab density adjustment as well.
Right.
So in the cab, you don't have to hop out anymore and squeeze your tap. With your 560 model, you have now Isobus.
Right.
With Isobus, you're getting a few other different bits of features. You have obviously in-cab density, you have in-cab net, and you will have an auto unblock feature. So if you're piped directly into your Isobus tractor, it'll sense the blockage coming on, drop the floor, you knock off your PTO, knock it back on again, and the floor will come up itself. So yeah.
So it'll give you a bit of a warning before you completely bung it up.
Yes, and you can be on your button to knock off your PTO.
So just hang on for a second.
So it's more, when you go to Isobus, you're getting more operator functionality, a few little nice touches as such.
Yeah.
The standard iControl 5 then is a nicer, new nice 5-inch screen, colour screen. As I said, you can do the density inside in the cab. And you can make other changes in terms of bale size. You can adjust it ever so slightly between 1.25 and 1.3, and that's the reason, because if you were doing hay, straw, silage, you might want to change your bale. Mightn't want to pack it as much as such.
Right.
So
there you go.
Look, it's that's probably an overload. I hope not for you anyway for the F5 range, but
absolutely spot on that. You've always got something going on, never stopping.
Look at you can't rest on your laurels. You have to keep going and keep pushing on. As I said, we're grassline people. This is is our bread and butter. This is what we think. This is what we believe in. This is what we want to do as such. We're not doing tractors or anything like that. It's simply grass line baling, wrapping, and that's where we come from. That's what we want to be known for, the professionals in that.
There you go.
So yeah.
Owen, as ever.
As always.
Absolutely spot on.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff. Last year, big news on the Kubota stand was the little compact rigid telehandler that we have over in the background there. This year, it's all about this new development behind me here, which is a compact pivot steer telehandler. So to tell us all about it, we've got Mr. Colin Frost with us once again, and I think you've got a bit of a grand plan how we're going to do this. We're going to start at the front and work our way back.
Yeah.
I think that's the plan.
That's the plan. That is the plan.
Go for it then.
So, as you correctly say, this is our new product for this year, the RT305T. So this is our articulated telescopic loader.
Yeah.
For the last sort of 6 years, since we launched the new R0 range, we had customers keep asking us, you know, is it a telehandler?
When are you going to do a telescopic version? So, I think I was one of those, I think.
Yes, yeah. So we listen to our customers and voila, as they say.
Here it is. So is this very similar to the R090 in terms of the back end of it, or not?
It's from a ground up individual machine. So
so this is a new development.
This is a new development. You will not see this. So some of our competitors will take a conventional wheel loader.
Oh yeah.
And then add a telescopic boom to it. Yes.
Who would do a thing like that?
I don't know. However, you will not find this model or chassis frame in any of our range.
Right. You've not had it before.
We've not had it before.
Right.
It's individual to. It's not taking an existing model and just bolting a teleboom to it. It's from a ground up design.
Right. So what do you say? What was lift capacity on this?
This will on pallet forks. It will pick up just under 1.3 ton.
Is that straight turn or?
It's angle turn.
That's full turn.
So it's rated. It's rated.
So 1.3 tons. Full turn.
Just under 1.3
tons.
Under 1.3 tons on a pallet.
Right.
So you're talking about 2.25 to 2.5 ton in a bucket.
Yeah. And what sort of lift height are we talking?
That'll place it at 4.3.
4.3.
Yeah.
All right. Not so bad.
It's pretty
good.
For
the size of it.
It's very well. Well, that's what you get when you get it from a ground up design.
It's punchy.
Yeah.
Right. There we
Does
go.
the job.
Right. Carry on.
So again, you'll see on the front here, we've got this nice protective element here, just to stop any dirt muck going inside the boom.
Yeah.
And again, you've got these nice 2 work lights here.
Yeah.
Why 2? Well, when you're driving into a building, it's not the middle of the bucket that hits the wall or the roof or the beam, it's the corners. So what you can then do is angle these to shine actually in the corner of your attachment.
Right.
So you can actually get full visibility as you're going into your building. Okay?
There you go.
Mast adjustment. So again, some manufacturers will use one corner. We've actually got individual profile mast adjustment
all the way around
that you can adjust.
So that's just to keep the boom.
And it keeps it central and smooth then.
Right.
You're not then trying to tell your boom out at an angle.
So at the back of these you'll have wear plates.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can just keep adjusting those inwards.
You just slacken off that nut, tighten up the Allen key, lock it back off again.
And send it inwards, keep your boom true and square.
Absolutely.
Centred. Right.
Yeah.
There you go. I see you got 2 auxiliary.
Well, there's 3 actually.
There's 3? Oh God,
there's
three.
3, yeah. Yeah, so on this one, this particular model, you've got 2 auxiliaries which you control on the joystick, which I'll show you later.
Yeah.
And then you've got a 3rd joystick which is behind the lever.
Right.
And that will have a detent on it as well, so you can have continuous flow. So if you're using a mixing bucket, you can lock it in.
Just pop that in.
You haven't got to sit and hold it. You can just lock it in and carry on and do the job.
Ideal for those dispensing buckets and things like that.
Absolutely.
There you go. What about headstock options on this?
So standardised option we're bringing into the dealer network is Euro. But if you want an alternative headstock, we can offer that as well.
Right. I suppose Euro headstock might appeal to those that have been running loader tractors and then are going for a machine like this.
Yes.
They can just go straight to their current attachments.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so it just gives that interchangeability and it allows the customer to then increase their productivity without minimal cost.
And what would be hydraulic pump capacity on this then?
This will put out 70 litres a minute.
Right. In total,
in total, yeah.
So what would you sort of get at the headstock?
So yeah, you'll get 70 litres.
You get 70
yeah.
Right.
Through the right fittings, you'll get 70 litres.
Right, got you. There you go. Right, shall we keep sliding back? Have you got sort of like boom suspension, things like
that? That is available as an option.
That's an option.
Yeah.
What about boom end dampening, that sort of stuff?
I think yes, it's got that as well.
It
does that as well. Yeah.
Avoid them clunks.
Yes.
Cool. Right. While we're here, axles. Have we got any differentials or
diff lock front and back?
Right. Manual diffs.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Fully enclosed wet brakes. So that's where we differentiate between some of the cheaper end of the market, shall we say,
Right.
where they've got disc brakes that are external.
Yeah.
They're great for changing pads and stuff, but in our environment, they're handling manure, fertiliser, caustic, corrosive stuff.
And is it just braked on the front axle? Or
No,
is it
front and rear.
front and rear brakes?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not just braked on the front and connected to the back.
Well, they're all connected together, yes. But,
Right.
But they're, yeah.
We've got
they're all on one service.
We've got four-wheel braking,
Yes,
basically.
yes.
Right. Keep sliding his back collar.
Yep. Track rod end style articulation and pivoting.
Right. So she will twist.
Twist
in the middle.
She'll articulate. She'll articulate
Yeah.
side to side and obviously articulate to turn.
Right. Got you.
So you're always planted.
Yeah. So you haven't got like this being rigid, sort of from side to side, and a floating rear axle or anything like that.
No.
This
no.
floats in the middle.
This does
Right.
all that work for
So
you.
that's all happening down
yes.
there.
Yep.
Right.
And then you've got LED lights at the top here, and you may notice here as well. We'll put them on for you later.
Right.
It's orange strobes.
Right.
That's your flashing beacon.
All right. That's your beacon.
We've all done it. We've
Yeah.
all driven into the shed and heard the thud of death as your beacon slides down the back of the roof, bounces off
Yeah.
the bonnet and smashes on the floor.
Yeah, we've done that. Yeah.
So we understand that our customers will be using these shuttling from field,
Yeah.
shuttling around the yard, diving into a shed,
Yeah.
and not necessarily thinking about what's on the roof.
So you've just kept them.
So we've kept them all nice and low, so you know your highest point is your roof.
Right. There we go.
Just thinking about it. you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
From the ground up, again designed heater matrix system, so it's all built within the machine. Ground level air filtration,
Yeah.
so there's no climbing up on the wheels or the cab or the front chassis
Just there.
to change the filter. When you want to change it or clean it, it's just there.
Right.
Side window all nicely folds back,
So
you can
this
get
piece will go all the way
yeah.
back. Right.
So you can either latch it out on one just to get a bit of ventilation,
Yeah.
or you can swing her all the way back.
Right.
And now we've got the business end.
Power plant.
Power plant.
I'm
yes.
assuming it's Kubota in there.
Of course. We would use nothing else.
So what have we got?
So we'll start off on this side. So your hydraulic filter and top up is just here.
Yeah.
We've got our latest DPF system on here. So no AdBlue, just purely DPF.
Right. Will that need a regen every now and again? Or
It
is
needs, with this new DPF system, now bear with me because I always get tripped up on this.
Right.
So the regeneration temperature of this is lower, so
Okay.
it uses less fuel.
Right.
The duration of regen is shorter,
Okay.
uses even less fuel.
Winner, winner.
And the intervals that it needs to regen are longer.
Winner, winner, winner.
Did it right first time. Normally I
Right.
get tripped on getting it the wrong way around. So again, you're using the minimum amount of fuel for burning off soot.
Yeah.
You're using the maximum amount of fuel for productivity.
That's what we want. That's what we want.
So if we then swing around the back here, all important, these machines are working in grass, straw, dusty environments.
Yeah.
Time and effort cleaning filters is a cost. This just takes out the worst of it for you.
Yeah.
So your filtration is only dealing with the fines rather than the bigger stuff. This takes out the bigger stuff
That
for you.
gets rid of it
So it's
first.
standardised first. We'll just move the door out the way.
Now we can see it.
So again, servicing and labour is a big cost. So the easier we can make it, the cheaper it is for the
So you
customer.
go for remote filters.
Remote filters,
Where
so your
possible, yeah.
air filter, oil filter, and then you've got your two fuel filters, primer, oil fill up just here and your dipsticks just down there, all from
Ideal.
one side.
Ideal.
We also, the battery is tucked away in here with the fuse boxes and it's locked away, out of the way. But if you do need to jump start something, we do give you a start pole here,
Yeah.
so you can use a set of jump leads. And nice little touch here is the isolator switch. What we've got here, you'll see, is this nice little plug. So if you take that away, you can still
Cover that up.
Still cover it. Just a nice little thought.
There you go.
It's good though, isn't it?
Yeah. And what size engine do you say that one?
This is 66 horse.
66
Two and a half litre, four cylinder.
66 horse.
Yeah.
Right. So it's you got a little bit of a punch there.
Absolutely.
Right.
And
Cool.
now we're talking about
Into
the
the
Piastri
office
Sun.
now.
Into the office. Yeah.
Right.
So first of all, you got a nice because this is a European built and designed machine. It's built for European operators.
Right.
It's built for our market.
Right.
You got a nice big wide door opening here.
Yeah.
Little things. thermoplastic grab handle. When you get in there in the middle of the winter, the door's not trying to drag the heat out of your hand. It's nice and comfortable. When it's dark, winter time or early mornings, you want to see what you're doing in the shed. It's a bit automotive, this. You've got a interior light switch. So again, you've got a courtesy light that will come on and off when you want to.
Okay.
If you want to have a hop in the cab.
Should we hop in? If I can hop. Wasn't a bad hop. What are you laughing at?
So for starters, and this has got more than my car. You've got an air suspension seat. Yeah. And you'll notice there's a little knob below that.
Cheeky.
Well, you know, the rumours.
Right.
If you're unlike yourself and me, and you're a bit vertically challenged,
right,
you can adjust that knob and that will reduce the amount the seat comes up, so you can still get the air suspension
without smacking your head.
Without smacking your head or
bottoming out.
Or not being able to touch the pedals.
Right.
Okay.
There you go.
If you look on your left side,
yeah,
you've got this little grey knob there.
Yeah.
You can either switch it to the back or to the front. Where it is now, you've got 4.5 suspension.
Yeah.
And if you flick it back, it locks it out.
Right.
So you've got a solid seat.
Right.
You then, higher behind that, you've got the back adjuster.
Yeah.
So you've got a nice high back with a headrest. And then you've got your standard to your right is your seat 4 and aft.
Oh, down here. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
So again, because at the end of the day, the machine does 30k, but we all know if the operator's not comfortable, it's not going to do 30k.
No, definitely not.
So
you'll be hanging on for grim death, won't you?
What I haven't told you about as well is actually, I missed something there, adjustable armrests.
Right.
And that's on both sides.
Yeah.
Now, again, a lot of our competitors will just give you a wrist rest, which is fixed.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. Everybody's a different size. So again, you can adjust that armrest on your right-hand side to suit the joystick.
Right.
And meet the joystick.
Cool.
Steering column,
yeah,
again, as we showed you in the KTH, you've got 4 and aft.
Yeah.
But also, when you flick it out sideways, you can lift it for height as well.
There we go.
So you can get to absolute comfort.
Spot on.
On the side there, you've got your standard fit radio, which again is all within line of the operator's eye, so you're not trying to look underneath your elbow driving along, adjust the tuning or move on to another track.
Yeah.
And then you've got your heater controls as well, so again you can adjust those with minimal removing your eyes from the site of operation.
Yeah, cool.
Joystick controls, again, we acknowledge a lot of our customers drive different machines. Rather than having to search around for a diagram, we just put the symbols on the dash or on the joystick, what each function does, so you haven't got to try and work it out and scratch your head and you know, maybe have an accident operating the wrong service.
That's it.
So you've got your diff lock control there, you've got your high-low control on there.
Yeah.
Forward and reverse boom out.
Right.
You've got your auxiliary ignite and functions.
Yeah.
Now there's also an electric control module on the front. So if you've got electronically controlled valves as well, you can operate it on the joystick as well.
Right.
So everything that you need to use
it's all
on
there.
regular services is on that joystick.
All your primary functions are all there.
It's everything's there that you need.
And then this is that third, well not third service,
that's your third,
fourth, fifth, or whatever.
Yeah. In construction we called it third, in ag they called it fifth, or sixth. So again, that's the one that you can then use with a detent on. That one hasn't got that detent option built in it, but
yeah, if you did have it, you could lock that out.
This is a pre-launch machine, so there's 1 or 2 bits that are missing off this that wouldn't be on the standard UK spec. Because on the standard UK spec, you'll also get LED road lights as well, which this one hasn't got.
Right. So.
Okay. Yeah, as I say, that you've got the full heater system which goes right through and blows up.
Yeah.
You've got a full clear curved screen. You've got a rear wiper motor mounted at the top, so it clears the area you look through.
Yeah.
So again, you'll see some there, they're mounted at the bottom, so the bit you actually look through is missed.
Yeah.
You've got a sun visor as well, just to sort of keep the dirt out your eyes.
Yeah.
All your light switches are on the side there.
They're on the big
so it's everything that you use on a regular basis is close to hand.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
There's nothing hidden down the side here or behind or whatever. It's all in front of you.
It's literally that and that.
And then your quick hitch options are on.
Yeah.
Facilities on there.
That's it.
So it's designed for an operator.
And a massive cup holder.
Massive cup holder.
Massive cup holder.
And a socket for charging your phone or any other device that you want.
Right. There you go.
And even a cleather dashlet Very automotive.
There you go. Right, well, we look forward to trying this out at some
Yes,
point.
yeah, we must get you to have a go on it.
That's it. Cool. So,
Also the fuel,
what else has he got?
fuel filler. Ground level fuel filler. And that's lockable.
yeah.
And it's also got the clicky system,
Yeah.
so you can't over
So the
tighten
tank is just in the shaft.
Tank
of
is
front
built in the
right.
bottom here.
Right.
But like I say, you can fill it from cans or a Bowser without having to, again, climb
Yeah.
up on steps, or reducing all that opportunity for risk from falls, you know.
There you go. Spot on. Well, like I
Good.
say, look forward to trying it out.
Yeah,
if we
please.
can,
Yeah,
at
we'll look
some
forward to getting it
point.
to you.
Yeah, loads of spec in a compact package.
Yeah,
What more do you
absolutely.
want, There you go.
Form an orderly queue.
There you go. Colin, thank you very much
Thank you for your time. Thank
Perfect,
you.
that. Good stuff. So, I think it's fair to say Joskin doesn't really do things by halves. And yeah, this year's LAMMA 2025 stand is no exception. It's got a couple of fairly big products on its stand, one being a big tanker over there with a new dribble bar development, and then on this side you've got your Drakkar ejector trailer. So we've got Dorian here from Joskin who's going to take us through these two key products. So Dorian, shall we start with the Drakkar series as it is behind us? Talk us through this machine and its sort of concept really.
Okay, so Joskin has a very wide range of product offering, of course mainly known for the slurry side of things, but transport is also a very, very important part of our products, and our aim is to be able to transport pretty much everything in and around the farm.
Right.
This is the trailer for it, as it can transport pretty much everything.
So this is very multi-purpose.
Exactly.
Compared to something like your silo space,
Yes.
which is very much, well, just silage. As
Silo
the name
space would
suggests.
be a high capacity on a double axle, very cost effective. Whereas this one will be the versatile machine.
Yeah.
Really
So
something,
you could do silage, well, as we can see up here,
as you
can't
can
we?
see there. Yes.
So what
So-
we got, we can do silage, manure, sugar beet, potatoes, maize, sunflower grain, oilseed rape, and probably many, many more in between as well.
You can do pallets, you can do big bags, you can, in Sweden they transport snow with a trailer
No
like
way.
this. So
You know you've got a snow problem, don't you, when you're starting carting it away? So, like you were saying, you could do pallets on this, could you?
Yes.
So, in theory, what do? Put them in at the back and then just keep...
yes, you start with, instead of having the front wall at the front, you start
Yeah.
closer to the back, and then just, instead of pulling here the belt, you pull the front wall instead the opposite
keep
direction,
moving it back.
and you just keep on
So you
loading.
can do that with anything. Like, say, fertiliser bags, bales of straw, like literally whatever in here, isn't it?
Yes, that's
So
really
talk
the
to
aim.
me how the floor and the headboard work then.
Okay, so in comparison to a pushing wall, where we have force being put on the front wall to push something outside,
Yeah.
this trailer will be moving the product outside of the trailer.
Right, so it's carrying the product
Yes.
out. You're not
Yes.
putting a massive amount of force.
The aim is to respect as much as possible the product, to keep as much of it in a usable condition when it's out of the trailer.
Right.
Okay, so what we do is, here we have a motor on each side, okay? This motor is connected to a roller, and what it will do is the roller will pull the belt around it and will
Right, so
pull
it-
it to the back.
So it literally, it rolls up here, does it?
Yes, that's
Right.
right. So you don't have any issues of the belt having to go under the body either,
No,
because
it's
just
not like
being
a forage wagon where it has to go back and round
That's
again.
right.
It just rolls up
yes,
at the back and the headboard comes with it.
the headboard is just attached to the belt,
Yeah.
so that when you're unloading, you make sure you don't have anything falling off.
Right.
Whereas
So-
when it's a chain, it will always have something falling
Yeah.
off. It will take
So-
more
So
time.
there's not really a lot of pressure on the headboard then?
Not at all.
Or the walls?
Neither. Yeah.
Right.
And that's why we don't work with steel walls.
I was going to say, speaking of which, what is this?
This is a corrugated plastic.
Right.
So this is going to be something that's very, very easy for any product to go against it without sticking.
So
Even
it can slide past
Yes,
it,
that's
less
right.
friction on it,
and it reduces the weight of the machine as well. Not using
so
steel.
greater payload,
Yes, yes.
cheaper
But-
as well.
Well, it's a high quality product.
Yeah, yeah.
We use a high quality plastic because we need something that is resistant, but we don't have a lot of stress put on the side walls, so we don't need to use heavy duty steel or something
No.
like this. We can
So it's
work
literally
with
just
this.
being carried to the back.
That's right. That's right.
There you go. And I see you've got, are these extensions?
Yes.
Like
We have
hydraulically adjustable?
hydraulic
So you
extensions.
could go from low-sided sugar beet grain mode to high-sided silage mode or
That's
something
right.
like that.
That's right. This machine here is going to be a 1.8 loading height on the machine, well, height of the body, and then we add a 50 centimeter extra with the extensions.
So you can get some more as well?
Yes.
Oh,
this
right,
one is
so
50
those,
on top.
Those hydraulic extensions, they have the extra 50?
Yes, that's right.
And can you individually adjust them, like you could drop one side down?
Yeah,
a bit?
so if you look, you have this one that is lifted up and the other one is dropped
the far
down.
side's down,
Yes.
right.
So,
Cool,
yeah.
right, as we walk past it, running gear. Talk to me about running gear, because that's
So,
quite substantial.
Yes. On a double axle, our standard will be our rollover bougie that we use on tipping trailers, on tankers, etc. But this one here has an hydraulic suspension.
Right.
Okay, so the difference between spring suspension and hydraulic suspension in our case is that both sides were complete independently. So first of all, it's very, very easy to pull, because when we talk about running gears, usually we will compare it to a wheelbarrow. Okay, a wheelbarrow, when it's loaded, when you're in difficult conditions, we'll try pushing it and we start sinking into the ground
You're
and
effectively
struggling.
pushing it into the ground, aren't you?
So instead, we pull up.
Right.
And that's the same thing. When you look at it here, the pivot point is under the axle.
So it's at the front and it trails,
Yes.
effectively.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. You have, with a system like this, you have 25 centimeters of clearance.
Right.
So this is very, very good to go over any type of obstacles. And then because it's hydraulic, both sides work independently. So in walk-arounds, roundabouts, etc.
Oh, it can...
It will not, whereas with springs you can have one, it's pushing on one side and then pushes again, and then that's
Well,
how
that's it.
you
It leans over
sit.
and the actual springs on the other side are actually pushing upwards, because that's what they're designed to do, isn't it? And this won't do that.
In this case, no, it doesn't do that.
No.
It will just make sure that you keep all wheels on the ground at all time, but it will not try to compensate.
That's what we like.
So you don't have that risk in drive-abouts to just risk when you go out of the drive-about to just say...
Set on hillsides and all
Yes,
kinds of things.
yes.
Obviously we've got twin axle on this. Can you get a tri-axle version,
Yes.
longer versions in this?
So this one is a 7.6 meter long. We start at 6.6 and we go all the way to 9.6.
Right.
So the two bigger models, the 8.6 will be either tandem or tridem, and then the 9.6 will be only triple axle.
Right, got you. And do you think, especially for the UK wise, as you are here at LAMMA, do you think this one here, this 7600, popular size potentially
Yes.
for the UK? This is what you envisage?
In general for us, this is our most popular size anyways,
Right.
in all markets.
Yeah, this is the one.
But for the UK, I think this is a perfect size because you can do your typical 18 tonner, you can put 1.5 times more than in a 18 tonner.
Right.
Because it's a 22 tonner, this one.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very, very good size. And because we have a very, very good running gear, it's as easy to pull as your traditional 18 tonner as well.
There you go. Right, that's Drakkar covered.
Drakkar,
Shall we
yes.
have a look at your other development over here?
Let's go there,
So
yeah.
like we were saying before, you're famous for your slurry tankers.
We are, yes.
What's this one? This is the...
This is the Modulo. We are on this one with a 14,000 liter capacity, 14 cubic meters. This is a double axle with our rollover bougie that I was just mentioning before. Part of the Advantage series, so our series production, which of course allows us to have more control of our production, more control over what we don't make ourselves, what we buy, and so allows us to offer a better deal to the customer.
Okay. Is this where you make a certain amount of sort of fixed spec,
That's
standard
right.
spec machines?
That's right.
Which you can make in batches and ultimately make them a bit cheaper as well.
That's right.
Right.
Exactly, yes.
There you go. So if you want a discount, go for the Advantage one.
That's the best thing to do, where to start, the Advantage.
Right, so
And
you were saying this is a new sort of development at the back, this dribble bar?
So this is the first unit that we're displaying here in the UK. The first time we displayed it was at last Agritechnica, not so far ago. So this is part of the Start line, which starts at 9 meter and goes all the way to 12 meter. And we've made some new developments for the 12 meter version with a reinforced frame with twin macerator. It exists as a dribble bar or a trailing shoe. With the trailing shoe, you also have gauge wheels on each side to make sure to follow the ground perfectly.
Right.
Okay. Having twin macerators allows us to work with shut-off valves on each side to avoid overlapping and make a better use of the slurry.
All right, so you can do half width shut off.
That's right.
effectively.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Could you tie that into a section control system on this? Are we at that level yet?
This one is not really thought for it. It's a professional product because it's made by Joskin, but we aim this one to less, let's say, technical, or something that will be giving you a very good result without going too much into technology.
Right. So not too high capacity, but not too complex.
That's it.
Right.
If you want isobus, section control, all that stuff, you can still go to our standard product or just Penditwist, regular Penditwist, Pendislide Pro.
Yeah.
These would be the machines where you go really into high spec.
Right.
Whereas this one is going to be.
So these Penditwist Start models, this Start range, this is, like say, this is designed to be a bit simpler.
Yes.
But
exactly.
again, still productive. Yeah.
Productive, cost effective, high quality, but on a cheaper price and a bit simpler to use as well. Simpler to use because whereas when you use a normal dribble bar with us, you have to work with an hydraulic linkage.
Yeah.
You have an hydraulic block fitted on the tanker. Whereas on this one, the hydraulic block is fitted immediately on the dribble bar, it's built in.
All right.
So you can retrofit it to pretty much any tanker that we've already made, as long as you have, for example, in this case, the brackets here at the back.
Right, so I don't have to plumb in a load of pipes into the tractor, because this has got its own valve block.
Yes.
So I just need a send and return.
That's
to
right.
this.
And load sensing, which can be bypassed
Right.
if you don't have it on the tractor.
Okay, so if you don't have load sensing, you're still all right, but if you do have
can do
load
it.
sensing,
You can use it as well.
You can do power beyond on this.
Yep, that's right.
Brilliant.
That's right.
And then I see you just got a switch box then, just nice and easy.
We have it at the front, I'll show it just after.
Cool.
No problem. Yes. So this one, as I said, just fitted there on the bracket.
Yeah.
Can go on a linkage if that's already what you have.
Right.
But if you don't, you
Yeah.
don't need a linkage. That's no problem.
Could you use it on its own as part of an umbilical rig, potentially, or not? Or is it more designed for the tankers?
We'll say that umbilical is something we see a lot in the UK. For us in the rest of Europe, it's not really a technology that people use so much. So we're not umbilical specialists. I will not say this is a product for umbilical systems. But we know UK farmers are very smart when it comes to making modifications to
don't
fit their
rule
own
it out.
system. So my colleagues and I, when we look at that machine, we say it could probably fit to an umbilical system, but it will need a certain level of adaptation that is to each their own. I'd
Right.
say.
There you go.
And we have
So
the
this is
control
the control
box
box,
just
is it?
here. Yes. So this one is for the tank, and then this one is what will come with the dribble bar. So your standard spec that is not including the shut-off valves will start here. You have two ways of using it, either as an automatic sequence. Just click on start, and it will automatically unfold, remove the anti-drip, and then open the rear valve and turn on the macerators.
Perfect.
That's the first use. But you still have manual control over all the other things as well.
Right.
And then because we've added on the shut-off valves left and right, you also have the controls of these ones in here.
Ideal.
So fairly easy to use,
Simple.
very simple, just what you need.
You're not
actually.
diving through screens or anything
No,
like that.
no.
It's just physical switches and away you go.
On and off and just
That's what we like.
easy to use.
Cool.
For most people, that's what we need.
Yeah, that's it. Cool. Well, we'll just finish off around the front of the tanker. Just explain sort of like maybe a pump
So-
options, filling arm, that sort of stuff.
Our Modulo will be a tanker that is, as the name states, very modular. A lot of things you can do on it. For example, this one is fitted with our jumbo filling arm, which is a filling arm that can fill from both sides. It's just the move.
That's handy.
We just have to remove this pin,
Yeah.
and we push this, and we put the pump
cylinder
on
at
the other side. It will just drop the other way.
Right.
Works with a funnel that is always included with
Yeah.
its own linkage on the tanker. Pump, we work in this case with a vacuum pump from Europe. It's 13,000 liter capacity on this pump.
Yeah.
Sprung drawbar, with the springs going crosswise,
Okay. Yeah.
so as to give a better spread of the load,
Yeah, rather than one central sort of point.
Yes.
Right.
which allows us to have a much more comfortable machine to drive with
Yeah.
for the customer. Once again, integrated chassis, just to have a machine that is a bit lowered and with a separate chassis.
Yeah.
running gear, which is the roll of a bougie I talked about before, with a central pivot point, which allows both wheels to communicate, and when the front wheel goes over an obstacle, you don't have the whole weight of the machine supported by one wheel, because this one is going down and communicates, and so you always keep 4 wheels on the ground, the weight spread on 2 axles, 4 wheels, so you don't damage everything when it's not needed.
Cool, perfect. That's a really good overview of the 2 big
Thank
products
you.
on your stand. Dorian, thank you very much for your time. That has been absolutely, like I say, spot on.
Thank you.
Right, folks, you now join us on the Weidemann stand, which has got a couple of new products, one of which is that one there, a little sort of compact, rigid telehandler, and over there we've got a new pivot steer telescoping machine. So, to talk us through both of the products, we've got Adam Graham here. He's back.
I see you again,
He
James.
don't want to do it, but he's here. So, Adam, shall we kick off with this one here, the new, what's this, T6025?
T6025, yeah, 6 metre, 2.5 tonne.
Perfect, all clues are there.
All clues are there.
Spot on. Does this replace any model, this one?
It's right in between our old 5522.
Right.
So that's our old model, and that replaces that. It's the 2x2 class. So it's 2 metres wide, 2 metres high.
Right, that crucial compact class.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
competition there.
A lot of
isn't
competition,
there?
yeah, a lot
So,
of
right,
competition.
so this is a new one that you are bringing to the market.
Yep.
Just talk us through it. Just,
It's so yeah, 6 metres. This is our German machine with the German hitch on it. You can get an automatic pickup hitch for the UK. It's full 38-degree steering angles, front and rear, so it's a very compact, manoeuvrable machine.
right, any diffs in there as well at all?
There's a differential lock on the front axle only.
Right, manual locking that one. is it?
Manual, yeah, you press it on the joystick. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Grand.
yeah.
Right, so as we move around it, well, while we're here, what we got under the bonnet?
So it's a Perkins 404D engine. It's
Right.
70 or 75 horsepower with a DPF fitted, so no AdBlue on this machine.
Ideal.
It's very compact, very compact, low, good visibility.
It all just slopes away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All, you know, as you look at it towards your cab, it all just sort of falls away, doesn't
The
it?
design team in Leicester designed it's very similar looking to the 7 metre machine.
Right, so she's a UK designed
Yeah,
machine, is it?
UK design machine, very similar to our 7 metre.
Built
So
in Germany.
Built in Germany,
So
yeah.
it's got all the best bits.
All the best bits. Yeah, and it's because it comes out of the Weidemann factory. It's shot blasted, powder coated, so the paintwork's fantastic on it.
Well, that's it, and this is going to get in some right little corrosive spots, isn't it?
Yeah,
this?
yeah, it is indeed. Yeah, it is.
Gearbox in this, I presume it'll be a hydrostatic. is it?
Aerostatic, yeah, it's electronically controlled. So this machine, it's got the new EC drive, they call it,
Right, what's that do?
and the hydrostat and the engine talk to one another. So it's a lot more fuel efficient, and you get the most out of the machine. It's a 35k road speed machine.
Right.
So you get a
So
lot.
like when they're talking to each other, if you know you get a bit of throttle input,
Yeah.
and if it sort of decides, well, actually we can meet this speed without giving it loads of revs,
Yes, exactly.
it'll do that, will it?
Yeah,
Right.
it does. Then when you get to your full 35k, your engine RPM
So it'll
drop down.
Back off like a CVT tractor,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, so it's
Keep
lot-
the speed up and drop the revs
Yeah,
down.
it's a lot quieter. A
Right.
lot
Like you
quieter.
said, top speed was 30k.
35k.
35k on
Yeah.
this. And can you select any sort of like ranges at all to work with you?
Yeah, in the cab on the joystick, you've got high and low range, and also, which is a new feature on this, you've got 3 working hydraulic modes. You've got slow, medium, and fast.
Right.
So if you're doing some, lifting some delicate attachments, you can just use your
Some
slow.
pallet work as well,
Pallet
like that,
work,
and just
yeah.
calm everything down a bit.
Yeah, calm it all down,
Right.
because it does have a 75 litre a minute pump. So
I was
it's
going to say, what was that?
So
Yeah.
reverse fan is standard on this machine as well in UK, aircon and an air seat. So it's a nice cab, full, good visibility.
Yeah.
Very much like the 7 metre with the one-piece windscreen.
Right. So nicely spec then.
Nicely spec machine.
Right,
yeah.
lots of spec in a small package.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
Headstock choice. I know it's up there in the air at the moment,
Yeah.
holding a flag up.
That's Weidemann, but you can get a Euro headstock as well,
Right.
which is probably more popular in UK now,
Is it?
to be fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that because traditionally there's a few loader tractors about? Or?
Yeah, this is a good starting machine if you're trading your tractor and loader in for your first telehandler.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I suppose, you know, if it's a smaller farm, this will be great for doing all your handling tasks, but it would be a good support machine to a bigger, you know, like one of your bigger machines on a bigger farm, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it would. Yeah, a second machine as well. As farms are growing, I agree with you there. Yeah.
And then ideal for them chicken sheds as well. Just those compact
good.
dimensions.
Yeah. No, it is quite a popular class, is the 2x2 class.
Yeah. That's it. Well, I think you've still got all these traditional farm buildings kicking about.
There's still a lot about, isn't there, James?
Spot on, it's what you need, isn't it? There you go. And in terms of availability, can we order this now? Or?
Yeah, the June March.
March,
so you can order now, and you can take delivery in March. Yeah, early March.
Ideal.
Yeah.
So that's the flavour of this one. The little rigid.
Yeah.
Let's go over to Penditwist, shall we?
Yeah, let's go and have a look at
that. So what model's this one here?
So this, James, is the new 3060T. It replaces the LPTs, the low platform, the old 38T LPT. So that's a direct replacement. It's got the new boom, which you've got 10 degrees more crowd on this specific machine. A good improvement over the old outgoing machine. You've got a wet brakes axle.
Right. So inboard wet brakes.
Inboard wet brakes.
Keep it all out of the way.
Yeah, keep it all out of the way. And yeah, indeed. And you've still got your locking front and rear differential locks.
Right. Manual locks.
Manual locks. So if you're on hard surfaces, you get a lot longer tyre wear. You could get 5,000 hours out of these tyres.
Really?
No bother.
Compared to something like with LSDs.
Yeah, with limit slip diffs. Yeah.
Right. Got you. So what sort of class is this machine? Or what's kind of its working weight?
This is operating weight of 5.7 tonne, but I sell this. It lifts 2.2 usable capacity.
Right. Full turn tipping load.
Yeah.
2.2 tonne.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so it'll handle 2.2 tonne.
To what height?
This 4.9 metres.
Right. Oh, it's bloody handy.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's a handy little machine, and again, boom suspension on this. But the great thing, boom suspension. You can get bucket rattle as an option.
Yeah.
Again, that's on Weidemann, but we'll bring this into UK on pin and cone.
The popular pin and cone. It just won't go. It won't die. Well, so you think the people that are going to buy this, they probably have map rolls and things like that,
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, on this machine you've got a big free flow return if you've got a sweeper.
Oh, there's a big free flow return.
It is a big one.
And steel pipe, get rid of a bit of heat as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
External steel pipe,
Yeah.
You got boom end dampening, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you've got boom cushioning, self-leveling, and this has got the virtual assistant, so when you're lowering the boom down and the boom's out, it automatically comes back in on its own.
Oh, I remember this.
So it doesn't go out on its own, it comes in on its own.
Right, that's it. Right, so as you're sorry, I'm thinking of another feature, I don't know if you guys had it, or one of your cousins had it. It's that virtual, what do you call it?
Vertical lift system.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like driving a forklift.
Yes.
So as you're lifting, it will constantly sort of boom out gradually, but it'll maintain a straight lift. That's not on this.
No, that's on the 7 metre and the 6025, but this just pulls. So if you're loading muck, when you boom out, you tip your load, and then when you push your joystick down, the boom automatically comes back in. So it's a good feature.
Is that something you just turn on and off?
Just something turn on and off on a switch. Yeah. This has got LED road lights, and it's got a whole new centre joint with a few couple more.
Have you beefed that up?
It
looks factory does that.
Yeah, been on steroids, that James.
Yeah, definitely. And unlike some of the other competitors that we see, you see those that they twist in the middle, oscillate if they're going to be posh.
Yeah.
Whereas you keep yours rigid in the middle.
No, it is actually.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. You've got 8 degrees oscillate. There's 2 rose bearings, one at the front, one at the back.
Right.
And then you've a rose bearing at the bottom, so you've got 8 degrees of oscillation.
So you keep each wheel planted and back axle's fixed.
Which is more stable and, in my opinion, it's far more comfortable.
Fair enough. Spot on, right. We'll keep going back, shall we?
Yes.
So, gearbox, hydro again?
Hydro, again, 2-speed, hydrostatic, and if you want to look under the bonnet, it's got a Kohler engine, and this 36 is 65 horsepower we've put the engine in widthways to get more airflow through and out.
Right.
And because of that, the cab's lower. It's 2,535 mil, so the cab, compared to the 5080, that's 2.8.
Right.
And this is, just
It's
over
sat
2.5
down
metres.
its chassis, isn't it?
Sat down its chassis.
That sump's right down there, isn't it?
Yeah. So your centre of gravity's good. You've got your hydrostat tank at the back there,
Yeah.
and your diesel tank round the other side. But everything's really good to
It's a
work
bit
on.
more, because often when engines are longitudinal,
Yeah.
you got a big cooling pack at back,
Yeah,
and then you've got to
yeah.
sort of squeezing down either side.
Yes, yes.
Whereas that's
So in theory, air comes in here and out there, so you're not blasting air onto the floor, causing a lot of dust as well.
it's kicking up and
To
then
kick up
choking
like-
this thing up
Yeah,
again.
yeah. So,
remote filters as well.
remote filters. Again, just a diesel particulate filter, no AdBlue in this machine. So I really do like the Kohler engine.
Yeah.
It's proved as well.
Spot on, right, we'll finish up round cab if we can get near. It's popular, isn't it?
It is very,
Doing all right.
We're at a really busy day.
Yeah, it was that popular, you had competitors on the stand before. I'm not saying. But it was all fair in love and war.
Yeah, absolutely.
doing your introduction, mate?
It is, he's on it.
Are you on it?
He's on it now.
We're on it now.
So, yeah, go on, talk us through cab, what we got going.
Yeah, so it's a brand new cab. So it's a one-door cabin. It's quite a lot. It's a lot deeper. It's about 8-inch deeper than the previous outgoing cabin.
So I can stretch my legs out.
You
now,
can
I?
see a big guy like you, James. You can stretch out a little bit more. You've got your hand throttle and manual inching in the cabin.
Right.
This particular machine, you've got a reversing camera, fully adjustable steering, with all your. One good thing about the Weidemann now, all the joysticks are the same. So if you can jump in this machine and you get on with it, you can jump in a 7 metre.
You can drive any of them.
Yeah, we're trying to have commonality. So
That's
everything's the same. You've got your safe load indicator at the top there.
Yeah.
It's a great.
So like your split hand throttle and that sort of thing, that'll be ideal for your dispensing buckets and that sort of stuff.
Dispensing,
Set your revs and...
dispensing, sweeper brush.
That's it, yeah.
Because them two switches just replicate your foot throttle and your brake.
Right.
But aircon on this, I think aircon's getting a lot more popular now.
Yeah.
So aircon.
I see if you're shifting bales in summer or whatever, it's appreciated, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
That's it. And likewise with this, is this available now, this one?
This is due in May.
This is May,
Yeah,
so she's coming a bit later.
Yeah. And same again, all our machines, we've still got our 3-year, 3,000 hour warranty as standard.
Right.
So with
You'll
confidence,
stand behind them.
we'll stand behind our machines, absolutely.
Good man. Yeah. Well, with that then, once again, Adam.
Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you,
your time.
James.
Absolutely spot on. Shall we have a bit of technology chat on the Kverneland stand? I think so. We've got Simon Wills here. They've got a new development in the form of it's Kverneland Sync, is
That's it? Yep.
Right, not kitchen sink, Kverneland Sync.
Kverneland Sync.
Right.
Yep.
What is it?
So Sync is our connection to the cloud. So what it gives us is it gives us every machine now, independent of the tractor, is connected to the cloud. And then through our farm centre application that you have on your computer, you've then got machine tracking all the time.
Right.
You can then set a geofence around your farm. So if that machine goes outside that geofence, you can find out that that machine's moved and gone.
Right, so we've got a security application.
So we've got security.
There. Right.
What we've also got with our new service tool then is a way to wirelessly connect into the machine. So, not that we have problems with the machine, but if you do have a problem, then the dealer can be at the depot and he can log into your machine and have a look. You have to give him access, so he can't just get in there without
willy-nilly,
without you saying so. But you request that the dealer connects. The dealer then can connect to your machine. He can look at all your parameters and see, say there's a sensor problem, then he can see that that sensor's failed. He can order the sensor, he can come out, so it's fixed first time. He's not got to come out, diagnose that problem, go away, order the sensor and come back to you.
Remote
it's
diagnostics.
Be done. Remote diagnostics.
What else can you do? Come on.
It also gives us the opportunity, there's not just a cloud connection in there, there's a Bluetooth connection in there. So on our spreaders,
Right.
with our spreader app, we've got the ability
Shall we have a wander
now.
over? Let's have a wander
to
rather
the
than
spreader.
staring at a grey box. Come on. Right, so on your spreader app, go on.
On the spreader app, we've got the option to be able to now send your spreading chart information directly to the spreader.
Right.
So as it was before, you would do your shaker box test with your fertiliser, the app would give you your settings, but then you would be in here and you would be setting all your settings.
Yeah.
Now, from my phone, I press send to spreader, and then on there, it will just come up, do you want to use these settings or save these settings?
Right.
So you've got both options there. So use them, it will just set all those settings straight away.
Yeah.
Save them, it will save them into the list so that then you can use them if you change between fertilisers again and again.
Right,
so that's the
settings.
Bluetooth.
Tick.
Yep.
Right, what about maps and prescription maps and that sort of stuff?
Prescription maps, with having this cloud-based system, once you link it to our terminal now, then that is the gateway for our terminal to connect to the cloud, so that then you can send your maps from your computer directly to the terminal to the cloud as well.
So that's maps.
So
tick.
that's maps
Right.
ticked. And back to the service aspect.
Yeah.
So you've jumped on this spreader, you don't know how to use it, or there's something that you're not sure of.
Yeah.
If you're using our terminal now, the sync then will give the dealer access to be able to screen mirror. So the dealer can then see your screen
And
live.
then can they start going through it?
They can't change
But they can
anything,
see what you're doing
but
and
they
advise
can then
you.
advise you
Right.
what to do on the screen. But that has to have our screen.
Right.
So
advice.
tick.
Tick.
So-
Right.
So this little grey box has actually got
the little
quite a
the
lot
magic box over there.
of things to be able to add to the machine.
And does these machines? Let's have a look. Keep wandering around.
Yep.
So is this only going to work with Isobus?
This is
machines?
only working with Isobus machines.
Right. And you say it's independent of the tractor.
Yes.
So you don't have to rely on, I don't know, myjohndeere.com or
Exactly.
whatever it's called.
Yep, yep.
You've got your own sort of way
Yep,
of doing it.
yep.
And you can forget whatever tractor's on the front of it, because
Yes.
you could have anything on the front of it.
Correct.
And you can take control of your little Kverneland universe,
Yes.
you might say.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And then, obviously we keep talking about connected. How are we, you've got your screen in your cab.
Yes.
How's this talking to that there cloud, and how's that talking to that
So-
there office?
Through the sync.
Right.
So yeah.
So it's all just
everything is-
like 4G, 5G network.
Yep.
Right.
Everything is mobile data network.
Right. And will you need like a SIM card in these? Or
So
something?
the SIM card is within the sync.
That's
So-
in the sync.
Yep.
The SIM card's in the sync.
Yep.
We got that.
Yep.
So that's in the little
Yep.
grey box.
Yep.
That will be mounted.
It's under that guard on
Right,
on
on
the
this
mower.
one?
Yeah.
On the mower it's under there.
On the
Right.
mower it's under the guard on the back.
Right. There you go. So on Isobus machines, pop it on.
Yep.
And obviously this will be an option when you order these machines, but can you retrofit
This-
existing machines?
We can retrofit existing machines. This is standard now across all of our machines. It's not an option.
Standard?
Yeah, it's coming standard across the machines. It's a phased rollout, so different products are getting it at different times.
Right.
But by September this year, every Isobus machine will have sync on it as standard.
Right, so if I try these mowers out later on in the year or next year or whatever,
Yeah.
it'll have sync on it.
Yeah.
And we can be looking in the cloud and seeing what's happening, and you can be able to see what I'm up to here.
We can see what you're doing. Yeah.
Big brother is
Exactly.
watching.
We are watching, indeed.
There you go.
Yep.
Right, good stuff. Well, Simon,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank
for that.
you.
Perfect. So folks, we move on with our LAMMA 2025 coverage right here at the Birmingham NEC. We're now on the RMV stand, which is the sole UK importer for Bergmann machinery. And we've got the main man here, we've got the director, we've got Richard with us, who's going to talk us through one of the Bergmann products, which is on the stand, which is this Gert Big Spreader. So, Richard, after you,
So,
what have we got?
Start at the front, hydraulic suspension on the drawbar, and change the drawbar height, etc. Central greasing, you can spec them without central greasing. You work your way through a machine, fully Isobus integrated with Topcon system, your weigh cells, mapping,
So we're talking a high spec machine here then?
Very high spec machine.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can spec them as a stockman spec,
Yeah.
hydraulic, controlled off your spool valves, or you can go all singing, all dancing contractor spec.
Right, so you can do a bit of something for everybody.
Yes.
So the model we've got, what's this one? here?
TSW 2140.
Right.
2140, so it is a 14 cube machine.
Right.
So obviously depends on what product you get into, what weight you can get in,
Yeah.
because everyone talks of what tonnage can it do. Well,
Yeah.
it depends what you put in it.
Depends what it is.
Yeah,
And how
exactly.
good your heaps are as well.
Exactly, how much you
can
get in
heat
it.
So it's the numbers in the middle we're going off.
Yes.
14 cube. There.
Yeah.
Right. Got it. What's the 2?
The series.
The series. Right, there we go. Spot on. Right, so as we study it, just talk us through some of your standout features on this, particularly the body shape and that sort of stuff.
The body shape on
Because you are a
this,
bit different when you look at others.
a lot different. What they've gone with is a double scapper floor system. The chains are pre-stretched in the factory in pairs.
Right.
So obviously as they wear equally, so you're not constantly having to try and tweak the chains.
Right.
They're stretched out, they are 100-ton chains,
Yeah.
so the breaking strain of the chains is immense.
So you
Yeah,
should manage with what's going in here.
yeah,
in
exactly,
theory.
yes, yeah. You can spec it obviously weigh cells, or without, depending on what you want.
Yeah.
The body shape is a parallel body on the aspect of vertical, so
Yeah.
you do not get any bridging of products falling through. As it's taking the
Right.
product out the bottom, you don't get bridging inside
Well,
the
that's it, because
machine.
you've only got a little bit of taper at the top, haven't
Just
you?
on the
Just a
greenies.
little bit of flare.
Yeah,
But then the most of the body,
it's square.
It's straight down, isn't it?
Yeah. Front to back, the body is wider at the back end. The body is 1.8 metre at the front
Right.
and fractionally wider at the back. So as she's moving product down, she's getting to a wider area, so it's loosening the product density.
Right. So that'll be easier sort of to get things going as well, is it?
Yes.
To initially start it off.
Yep, that's it.
Right.
So double time beaters. So what she's doing is she's sending around. If you look at where the tines are bolted on, she's tapered and kicks in. The idea behind that is it feeds the product round itself and throws it to the next beaters. Everything is double beaten.
Double battered.
Yeah. Then thrown at the back door.
Right.
Yeah. Unless this
That's
one,
like
where it
being
throws
at
it
home
out the
this
back
on a
door.
Friday
It
night.
is, isn't it? Thrown down onto the bottom. Standard sludge gate, then thrown down, and then your dosing gate at the back. Minimises draft, controls your dosing.
All right. So
So,
as well as like the slurry door, have you got another?
you've got
this as well?
this at the back, what can be adjustable. You can spec it as hydraulic adjustable, so you can control it from the cab.
So you can send this out a bit, is it?
Is it up and down?
Up and it's
Yeah,
straight
feeds
up and
up
down.
and down.
Got
Yeah.
you.
4 vanes per disc, meter discs in a V formation instead of horizontal.
Yeah. Sending it up and outwards.
Reason being, it gives a nice even spread to give you your 36 metre working width.
Right.
And that is DLG tested. It's the only
So-
manufacturer on the market what have DLG tested
So
their
is
muck
that an
spreader.
actual 36 metres then?
That is an actual 36 metres.
Right. Do you only do horizontal beaters as well, or do you do verticals as well?
They do verticals.
Yeah.
There is verticals in the range.
Yeah.
We are pushing the likes of obviously horizontal beaters
Yeah.
and the V spread to obviously it's the only one on the market like it. It is
Yeah.
the only one what can be putting on the rates it is.
Right.
They're accurate to 15% over 36 metres.
All right. It's fairly spot on then.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
got you. And can you add like we were talking before? It's ISOBUS control, or it can be ISOBUS control.
Can be ISOBUS
so
control.
can you do sort of? Can you vary the speed of these discs at all and alter your spread
You
pattern?
can alter your spread pattern. You can vary your speed of your discs. You're controlling your disc speed via your PTO though, so it is your PTO speed what drops
Right.
that. Your scapper floor, your bed is controlled via your ISOBUS, so she will speed up and slow down
Yeah.
on your rate. She will also, if she's running 3 clutches for your drive system,
Right.
1 for the beta system, and then 1 each per disc.
Yeah.
And they are sensor controlled. So if it picks up on one slipping, the first thing it will stop is your bed floor. So
Right,
you
take the
don't
pressure off.
Take the pressure off and stop it pushing more at it.
Right. There you
So full auto grease systems available, tyre inflation systems available.
go. So that's another option, is it? Central tyre inflation.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, it is. You can either buy them with spec them with drilled axles to be able to put your own kit on,
Yeah.
or you can spec them with a full kit.
Right. There you go. Just looking at these, it looks like you put a set of row crops on this.
Yeah,
Go
just
on.
want it.
Go on, talk us.
Reason behind that
are
is
tall,
to
though.
give the wider body,
Yeah.
to be able to give the volume to keep the weight lower. We've gone with wider tyres. Well, sorry, narrower tyres,
Narrow tyres.
but taller.
Very tall.
Very tall.
Yeah.
But they have got, due to them being VFs and the height of the
Alliance
tyres,
on these.
you have got over a meter's worth of footprint down.
Right. So you got a good
You've got a bigger
length
footprint,
of footprint
on this than what you would have on a standard spreader with a set of 650s.
Right. There you go. So how long have you guys been importers for, Bergmann then? 'Cause you're based at Doncaster, is it?
Basically, we started last year.
Right.
Yeah, we started last year. We've got a customer who runs 3 of their machines.
Yeah.
He was struggling for getting parts in and out of the country. So we had the discussion, and obviously now we're currently UK importer and obviously helping him as well as others up and down the country.
Right, that have bought through previous
Yeah.
importers, right? So you're backing those ones up that are already
Yeah.
already here.
Yeah.
Right, sound. And like I say, you're based at Doncaster.
Yep.
Are there going to be any other? You mentioned before there might be a Scottish importer at
Yeah,
some point.
Bergmann are trying to implement a Scottish importer, a southern importer, and also someone in Wales as well, to just be able to give
get
that
a bit
network.
more coverage.
Yeah.
Right, got you. And are you selling these through dealers or is it direct these that you?
Well, obviously they're coming in through us, so obviously they're coming direct from Bergmann to ourselves,
Right.
and obviously they'll be setting up their own dealer network with that. So obviously it'll be us covering the Midlands,
Got
and
you.
then the other dealers covering
Right.
their own areas.
Right. There we are. Spot on. Well, Richard, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
It's been cracking. It'd be good to see one of these as well.
Yep.
Right,
So as soon as,
send
we've got
us
our,
one.
soon as we've got our demo machine,
Yeah.
we'll send it over.
That'd be spot on, that.
Yeah.
Love
Spot
it.
on. Thank you.
Nice
See
one.
you later.
Time for our Bavarian engineering fix in the form of the Fendt stand, which has got, I mean, apart from a vast array of products, we're going to focus on a couple here, particularly tractors, I should say, and we've got a new rake at the back as well. So to talk us through these new products, we've got Mr. Ed Dennett. So where do you want to start, Ed? Should we start with the new 600 behind you?
Let's start with the new 600 if you like, James. Yeah. So I think this time last year, we were probably talking to you about 700 series. So yeah,
That's right.
New 600 series, essentially baby brother of the 700 Gen 7. So launched in 2023. It's 2025 now, isn't it?
It is. So it's
Time.
2023 at Agritechnica would have been its
That's right,
first
yeah.
outing,
That's
would
it,
it? And
yeah.
this will be its first outing at
So it's their
LAMMA,
first time
is
at
it?
LAMMA. Yeah, we showed in the UK last year in June. It was the first showing, and did the shows in the summer last year. So we're just starting to get some on. But started to arrive in the back end of last year, and we're sort of ready really for demo season in spring and customer retail units going out, etc. So first signs with this bit of kit are impressive. I mean, the 700 Gen 7 is impressive in the field. This is amazing.
I keep hearing some stories about this.
Yeah,
Particularly in its performance against like the Gen 6 700s.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously we've got that big question: what's happening with Gen 6, 700, 724s, 720s? What are you going to be doing? And I mean, ultimately, we've had this in the field with 724s, 722s, 720s, and it performs really, really well. So we're looking.
well.
I think it's like everything. The proof of the pudding's in the eating, and we're waiting to get it out there really on farm with customers. And then that'll be the tell really. But I think the first signs are very good. We're looking forward to getting the DLG Power Mix results, should be out soon too, which I think we're told are pretty positive. So I think in terms of a package, it's fantastic, and the feedback's really, really good. So
It's so, well, I'm not saying compact, that's a relative term, but it's a compact 4-cylinder, 200 horse plus tractor with all your dynamic boosters that you call it.
Yeah, dynamic performance. Yeah,
That's it,
so
yeah.
it's I think Oscar gave you the full go at Agritechnica a couple of years ago, but ultimately new Vario drive transmission, new 4-cylinder Agco power engine, so all new underneath, basically completely ground up design.
So this is the new 5 litre, is it? It's the new 5 litre 4-cylinder.
Core 50, 5 litre 4-cylinder engine.
So like the little brother to your bigger 7.5 litre, the other new engine in the family.
Essentially, in very crude terms, it's the 6-cylinder with 2 cylinders locked off the front of it.
Radio.
But I mean, and giving all of the performance that we're seeing in that inner four-cylinder
And the
machine.
same transmission concept as what you sort of initially started with.
Yeah, exactly.
1000 series, was it?
Yeah, in 2015, whenever that was. Yeah,
That was a good launch as well. I remember that one.
That was
yeah.
a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you and I have been around too long. We
Too
can
long.
remember
Do you
all
know
this
where that
stuff.
launch was, boys and girls? It was at the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang Castle in
was, yeah.
steepest, darkest somewhere.
Neuschwanstein, not very far from the
Neuschwanstein.
backside.
There you go.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, we have
but,
been around too long now.
That's it. So yeah, same transmission technology. No four-wheel drive key. No range change anymore. So really, much taking the. I'm not saying taking the thought out of operation, but making it easier for operators to use.
That's it.
Yeah.
And probably you've gained some efficiencies along the way as well, have you?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean things like Vario grip on this size of tractor as well as the first. So all those sorts of things that customers have been asking about for a long, long time.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have had Vario grip on a Gen 6 700, would you?
No, there was not the space on the axles to put all the equipment. So it's actually quite a big job to install that.
I bet it is. I bet it's not easy.
Yeah,
sounds easy when you say it. What, in terms of actually stature, wheelbase,
Yep.
what's this like compared to a Gen 6 700?
It's very slightly shorter. I think to give me Phil would be your man, but about somewhere around 40 to 50 mil shorter.
Right.
So very slightly shorter. It is identical to an 820. And when I mention 820, that's like Hero.
Oh yeah, the Hero.
The Hero tractor. You say 820 and people go, oh, amazing.
Right, well, we're having it then.
Yeah. So
do you think there's going to be, I won't say issues with perception, but you know what UK farmers are like, but obviously we've got a 4-cylinder in here, you've got a 6-cylinder in your Gen 6 700, you're asking people to kind of maybe go from one to the other. Do you think that's probably going to be your hardest selling point with this? Or
I think it's...
or have we moved on from that now? Is it just a power unit these days?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of that. I think the people who've tried it have said you wouldn't know the difference. And so I think it is a power unit. I think it's like everything. Get it in the field, do the demonstration. If it does the job, what does it matter?
Yeah.
But yeah, there is definitely going to be a little bit of crossing that Rubicon for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so far the first signs are very, very positive for sure.
Good.
So,
well, hopefully we'll have it ourselves in the field at some point.
Fingers crossed, that's what we're trying to get organised.
We will do our thing. Right, should we move on? So
yeah.
This is Gen 7 700.
This is Gen 7 700.
Which you brought to this event last year.
We did, yeah. We had 728s. But this, I suppose the difference on this, we'll talk about the wheels and tyres in a minute, but it's a Power Plus variant. So historically, we would have sold lots of Profi Plus tractors in the UK, but Power Plus is a more entry level, if you like, specification.
It's a second level up, is it? Out of your 4 specs?
Well, we got Power or Profi. The Plus denotes whether it's guidance ready.
Right.
We found a lot of customers in the UK were asking for a tractor that didn't need all the toys, but they did need guidance, and so that was something we've answered. And we've had Power Plus for quite a long time now, but the idea was to bring this machine, as you can see, on a set of row crops. One of the, I won't say criticisms, comments sometimes about Fendt tractors with the different hitches we use is ground clearance. So we wanted to show with this that we can fit what we've got off 50-inch wheels, 420s at the rear on a tractor. So for people doing veg work, bed work, this would be a viable option for them, particularly if they've been struggling on ground clearance.
So a bit of a statement piece to show, yes, we can do this, thank you very much.
It's always good to have something a bit different. Last year we went crazy with a gold tractor.
With the gold wrap tractor,
this year we just...
That kind of polarised opinion, didn't it?
Hey, it doesn't matter. I had the comment from a few people and they were saying, I hated that. And I said, yeah, but you are talking about it.
Exactly.
So
it's better to be talked about than not talked about.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, and I suppose a little bit of a plug for the manufacturer of the wheels. So these guys have a tie-up now with our parts guys, so you can buy row crops through our dealer network through this as well now, and you can see their setup. The row crops are made. I've got the bungs in for Vario grip too. This machine isn't fitted.
So you could do central tire inflation with this as well.
With the row crops.
Right.
So,
and I would imagine you get quite a long footprint with this as well.
You would, yeah. Obviously, you haven't quite got the sidewall, but they can advise on that sort of stuff.
That's it. Right, so that's tractor chat, Ed.
It is.
Shall we move on to the back of the 600, which is a new twin rotor rake from you guys.
Yep.
So, what is this one?
So we got the new Fendt Former 920C. So it's the first time the new Former's been shown in the UK. At show, we basically received this machine probably September last year, but this is the first time we've sort of publicly shown it. And It's the first of our all new former rakes. There's a huge amount of investment going into our factory where is our factory? It's a good question. Come on, Ed. Foyt.
Foyt. This is the Foyt one.
Foyt factory where our hay tools are made or grass equipment's made. And you would have seen investment in terms of the slicer mowers with new mower beds and butterfly combination options. Obviously the Lotus Tedder that was brought in to run alongside the Twister.
Right, yeah.
And now the former rakes are getting some treatment. So really, it's an all new rake from the ground up. We've got a new chassis, driveline system, wheels on twin wheels, tandem wheels on the carriers, but still using things like the jet effect which we carried over from
Oh,
previous.
that's where it kind of touches down like a plane, basically.
Yeah, basically. So you're trying to make sure that you always get the rotors down at the back first, then the front, and that way you're not getting any extra
diving in
and getting the contamination in the forage, which is not what you want. But we're really excited. I think it's a testament really to our guys, the investment we're putting into this product, and I think now you can definitely see, as with the mowers, how this is definitely.
Yeah, you can see the evolution in this, can't you? It's
Yeah,
quite clear on this, especially with this the curved panel that you've got on top of there, keeping the debris out of the way and that sort of stuff.
It's a credible option for people too, and I think it's worthy of the Fendt name. So yeah, we're really looking forward to getting these in the field and getting them out there, showing them to a few people, and getting a few out there in the field with customers. So.
Perfect. Well, there we go. We've got our Fendt fixed now, Ed.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Hopefully, like we just mentioned before, we will go to town on the new 600 series at some point, which will be great. Looking forward to that.
Indeed.
As ever, thank you very much for that. And we'll catch you again in a bit, no doubt.
Indeed, more than welcome.
No
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thank you. We now continue with our show coverage of the LAMMA Show 2025, and you now find us on the Malone stand with Mr. Fergal Connolly here. Don't ask me how to spell Fergal. Right, we've just struggled for the last 5 minutes. Anyway, so we're moving on. So, Fergal, you've got a couple of new products, one of which is this, your twin rotor rake, and then we've got a plain disc front mower over there.
Yeah.
Should we start here, Fergal?
So this is the first of our rake range that we're introducing to the UK market. It's a 6.1 metre rake, fixed twin rotor rake, 11 tine arms. It can adjust the height here of your tine on the ground.
All right, yeah. So it's just screw adjustment.
Just screw it up there, and you have
It can clearly see your gauge as well.
Yeah. Yes, clearly.
And your handles there as well. There's some of them.
You'll be hiding them.
Yeah.
But so you also can change the camber here of the rake as well, so you can vary the width
that's your cam track adjustment, is it?
Yeah.
On that little lever there.
So little 17 spanner, moving left to right, whatever.
Again, another spot on position.
Yeah.
Some of them are down here underneath the undercarriage there.
Yeah, so I suppose, James, a lot of our stuff, we try to keep them as user-friendly as possible.
Yeah.
Do you know
what you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't even adjust that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a simple adjustment. If you need to adjust, stay in front of you, it's simple to do. So we also have a left and right as well. So you're coming in near the end. You can lift them
into a triangle shape, yeah.
Yeah, so you can lift them independent, either left or right.
So you've just got one on one spill, one on another spill.
Yeah, and just a little. See the box there? See that here?
All right, on the front here, yeah.
So it's just a little valve, left or right.
All right.
But in the middle.
So in the middle, both together.
Yeah.
Flick it over. So you just have one spill.
Yeah.
And away you go.
Yeah. So it's nice, simple. Simple thing. Comer driveline. Warshield PTO shafts, which we use on all our machines.
Yeah.
We've been using these Warshield PTO shafts for the last number of years, and in fairness, we never went trouble. They really are really we recommend good PTO shaft.
Yeah.
Steering axle, spare wheel. What you see, there's no extras, James. Everything.
Simple. What you see is what you get.
Yeah, what you see is what you get.
And it's a fixed working width on this. There's no working width adjustment on this.
No working width. Now we have tested a 7.2 to an 8.8. 20, I'm getting mixed up with the years. 2024 last year.
Yeah.
So hopefully next year I'm standing here with you.
And you'll have a variable working width?
Variable working width, yeah. So
there you go. So this will be a popular size, all this, is it?
Yeah.
This one.
A lot of inquiries in the show now today. Maybe the bigger farmer, the smaller contractor, fits what they're looking for. A couple of lads that was doing a lot of hay liked it as well. So yeah, look at this good good interest and good positive feedback from it, you know. So.
Yeah. Spot. I noticed you don't have a curtain in the middle.
No. We had it, and we took it out. We felt we didn't need it.
Yeah.
Now the next one up will have the curtain.
Right.
But
for this size.
Yeah, for this we just didn't. It was splitting the row and just wasn't even a nice row for a baler.
Yeah.
So we took it out. Whether we put it in as an option down the road as you put it in, I don't know.
See how it goes.
But at the moment, it's not on it.
Yeah.
James, you know.
Yeah.
So.
No worries. It looks like it's built like a tank as well.
Yeah. Yes. It's 2,300 kilos, I think. That's the.
Right.
That's the. Or no, sorry, it's 1,900 kilos. Sorry.
1,900 kilos.
Yeah. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. It's like
Good
that,
stuff.
so.
Right. So that's your rake.
That's my rake.
That's your rake in a nutshell. Shall we wander over to your plain cut from
So down
Power?
here, Tom Pimperton gave us a good review on this. Actually, he was here this morning.
Right.
Tom bought a new one of these this year, a plain, and he bought that 3400. So actually, he didn't get it until the second cuts. But anyways, so this is our plain front non-conditioner mower. Again,
that's new for this time as well, is it?
Sorry?
Is this new for this time as well?
Yeah. So we're doing the two of them.
Right.
So again, Comer gearboxes, James, Warchild PTO shafts. We use a Comer bed here.
Right, so that's a
Comer bed. So it's the 5600, which is the heavy duty bed.
Yeah.
And also, you see back here,
Yeah.
So we make that frame. Right.
Right.
We make that frame, and the bed sits into it, and that frame then is bolted to both sides.
Oh, right,
so
across
it's all
the full
straight.
width.
Yeah.
So that's supporting the bed.
Yeah, because-
rather than the bed flexing about and trying to support everything.
Because all beds flex, and it just gives it that extra strength and that extra, just that extra bit of strength in it.
Yeah.
Quick fit blades, and it has the shear hub protection. So if you hit something, it shears the hub.
Yeah.
Protects
You just take the hub off.
Yeah.
Put your shear pin. Is it shear pin or something?
No. You actually replace the hub.
Right, it's the hub. Right.
There's a track in the hub, and when the track will break before the grill, and you just replace it. So it's a simple fix. You have 16 degrees from side to side flotation, and then you have 500 mil this way and 500 mil that way. So there's good flotation in it.
All right, you got a lot of movement with this.
Yeah,
what we call like a suspended type front mower, rather than your push type.
Yeah, it's a pull
you
type.
Got your pull type.
Yeah. So it's also you hydraulically pressurize the bed on the ground. So you just set your pressure, you knock off your tap. That's what we recommend.
Yeah.
So if you want to go from that, it's up, but you'll probably end up most of the
time there.
Yeah. Now there's an option on this machine. It's a camera. So we have cameras fitted here. There's one here, James on the far side. So when you come out the head of a road or a bad bend, you can see left or right. So look at a nice
little touch, that.
Yeah. So just something a bit different.
Just a little option, that is it?
Yeah. So how are you doing? How's things? Not too bad now. So so look at that again, Warchild PTO shaft. So it's the same as our front conditioner mower.
Yeah.
So we just find the reason with this that like lads maybe are looking more at a plain mower instead of a conditioner mower, especially out in Europe, because the TED and the rake and lighter tractor, less diesel, less
horsepower. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely
so,
less horsepower.
Look at, as I just say to them in the
it's got its place, hasn't it?
Well, that's
it.
Yeah,
definitely.
As I just say in the factory, if they're looking for red cars, you give them red cars. No point trying to sell them a black one because
Perfect. Give them what they want, innit?
Give them what they want.
There you go.
Look at it. It is. So lights all come to standard. That's the only option on them is the camera.
Yeah.
So,
there you go. And both these products, the rake and these are both available now. You can order these. Jobs are good.
Yeah. Offered to our dealers, to the network dealers, to the UK. So
yeah.
So we're very happy about it now. So.
Sound well, Fergal. Thank you very much for your little tour.
Thank you very much.
Fun. We'll look forward to what you're going to bring next year now.
Yeah.
You've worked with appetite.
Yeah, well, butterflies, I'd say next year now, James. So.
Butterflies, right.
Yeah, so hopefully now things with
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Butterfly and a variable working with rake.
That's the plan now. So.
You heard it here first. Yeah. There you go.
We move on. Thanks to Chris that nobody
talks to Chris. No one thanks him. You're the first person that's thanked the cameraman.
He's been ignored all the time.
He's going to want a raise next. There you go. Right, we move on.
All right, James. Thanks so much.
I'm going to have to buy my brew now. Right, folks, now time for a little bit of sprayer chat on the Chafer stand, and I'm joined by Mr. Joe Allen. So, Joe, I think what we're going to do, you're going to take us on a bit of a stand tour,
yeah,
right?
just a little
overview of what you got.
Yeah, definitely.
Where would you like to kick off?
So we'll start on the front of the stand. So what we're talking to a lot of people about, you know, over the next couple of days really are both our Raven Hawkeye PWM system, so our pulse width modulation system, but also giving them an update where we are on the Smart Sprayer project. So this is a 3-year Innovate UK project where there's ourselves, Bosch Rexroth, BASF and Rothamsted, and we're looking into essentially using a camera and light source system to see at what level we can spot blackgrass in a growing wheat crop there, with a view to both targeting and managing that over over a longer period of time. So we've got a 32-metre sprayer that's rigged up with a full set of cameras and light sources the whole way down the machine. This is at the factory, and essentially we're going over ground with known blackgrass issues. That's being mapped. That data's sent back to Bosch Rexroth. They're kind of feeding that back, and we're training the algorithm.
It took a lot of calibration, won't it?
It's just a lot of learning. Yeah, it's a lot of machine learning. So that process is building that to be as accurate as it can be, to a view where really what we want is on a single pass with a sprayer, we can spot every blackgrass plant at a given point, and then you can make some decisions of what you do with that after that, whether that's next pass through you apply something to that, or whether that's a management decision of where we go forward.
So you can do kind of one pass as normal, but next time round it's like, right, where do we go from here? What can we do with this? How can we treat this little swine?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So just giving us some options on there. But that's a system that hopefully down the line will piggyback onto the pulse width modulation system there. So just something for the future.
Because that'll just work perfectly with that.
Exactly. Just spot spraying as and when it needs.
It's basically like common rail engine, isn't it? It just fires off in the area that you want.
Yeah, exactly.
At the time that you want.
Always at the right pressure, always the right droplet, so just consistent across there. So obviously plenty of chat about that today. The PWM system is available across the self-propelled and all the trail range in there. It's something we do. Probably 50% of self-propelled machines go out with that system on there.
More popular now, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think as well as we've obviously over the years understand how to get the most out of that system. It's much easier for us to kind of deal with. I mean, even down to the fact that the service guys find it easier looking after machines with PWM on because of all the diagnostics that comes with that, whether that's spotting block nozzles from a customer's point of view, or down to silly little bits like you get a block nozzle on there, a little LED lights up that's a different colour, so it tells you which nozzle that is, and then you come out and find it. So just nice and simple on there. So that's been a big subject on there. Obviously we're talking a lot about the Interceptor self-propelled. We've got a 36-metre 5,000 litre machine on the stand. That's like hydraulically adjustable track width on there. This one's running a TopCon GPS system, but all the bells and whistles again, as you'll see on the boom. PWM on there, 5-sensor Raven. So very, this is kind of run of the mill for what we're building nowadays.
Right, this is kind of your bread and butter now, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. 36 metres, whether that's trailed or self-propelled, is the most popular width we do there. Completely.
When did you launch the Interceptor? Remember going back?
It feels like it feels like yesterday, and it feels like forever ago at the same time. So these were 2018 was full production of these. So it's quite nice now because obviously we are starting to replace some of those earlier machines, that type of thing. So we're getting a few more second-hand ones, which is very useful because there's a whole range of customers who want a second-hand one, and up till now there's not really been options for them. So it's quite good to kind of get going on there. So these are all Chafer plumbing. So every single one is auto fill, auto washout, those types of things on there. So that's fully automated. You start to learn what you build and what customers
like. Like say, these have been out since 2018. You are learning what they want, and kind of almost a standard spec at this stage.
Yeah, with the beauty of it is with spray. The issue with spray is every single one leaves the factory slightly different. But as a general rule, there's more and more bits you learn that people like, and equally things that were historically options on there just become standard fit because you appreciate everyone wants
it moves on. Expectations changing.
So things like you see the two pneumatic tanks on the back there for our air purge system. So that's where we're adding additional air capacity to the machine, essentially to blow out the sprayer when you come time to wash out. So you're blowing out the residual chemical onto the field. So when you start a washout, that's a much quicker process and a much reduced chance of contamination. So we thought that when we initially introduced that would be like a top spec option, but actually you'll find on some of the more basic trails, they don't have loads of options on them, but they will have air purge on there.
Right, so that's something you do before you start your big washout?
Before you wash out, because
just blow out that chemical,
Yeah.
like blast it out.
Because from that moment forward then what you've got is significantly less residual, probably 95% less liquid in the machine.
Yeah.
So your washout procedure can just be that much faster, and you've got obviously reduced chance of residual chemical and damage on there. So as we move around the back of the stand, we've got a couple of smaller applicators over on the left hand side over there. Just a quick fast. So we do. Chafer does a lot of liquid fertilizer placement equipment.
You see these about on some, they're on front of tractors with drills on, all sorts of stuff.
Absolutely. So we're just into the time of year where at the factory we're building a lot of kit for, obviously potato planting, that type of thing. So this will be for placement of liquid fertilizer, and then the smaller AS120 next to it is for in-furrow application of Amistar or Vellum Prime. So chemicals very accurately dosed into the actual furrow there. So smaller bits of equipment, but equally all the same ideas as the bigger kit. Stainless steel tanks, all isobus. And obviously very careful control of liquid to make sure we're putting the chemicals and fertilizers where they need to be.
That's it.
Bread and butter for Chafer is obviously the trailed sprayers. So we've got the smaller Guardian, so this is 3,500 and 4,000 litre, and then the bigger Sentry over here, which is 5,000 and 6,000 over there.
Right.
Building more Sentries than Guardians nowadays, purely because of boom sizes. The bigger boom goes on the Sentry, so most of those are 36 metres. Absolutely, capacity goes up, boom widths go up. But the Sentry itself has been we brought some pretty big updates to that machine last year when we came to LAMMA. Things like central tyre inflation, our new E-Plumbing Rinse Pro system, which is a twin pump setup, essentially again for better liquid control. Additional air purge, obviously the air capacity helps with the central tyre inflation, but just loads and loads of bits and pieces on there. They're full
so you can
isobus
link that into
standard.
those tanks up there, the central tyre inflation.
So much of a sprayer now is controlled, even historically it's controlled by air. From the suspension in there is low compensating. You can have air shut off on the boom, the air purge and the central tyre inflation, but that air capacity is obviously we prioritise for different areas of the machine. So obviously first comes the brakes, then the suspension, then the air shut off. But that additional capacity up there gives us the ability to, to do the air purge and to do the central tyre inflation. Because central tyre inflation works nicely on a sprayer because you're not waiting for it to pump up. It's doing that while you're filling it back up.
That's it.
So you're not, but you get to the field and it'll drop that pressure. And so many people prioritise or choose a trail because road travel is ideal with a trail. So we can travel.
How do you go on for stability with central tyre inflation on a trail spray? Do you have to be a little bit careful? Or?
I mean, if anything, it can be the beauty of it is it can be tuned from the operator's seat on there. So as a general rule, well, probably Chafer's certainly on a USP, but a huge benefit of the machines is the centre of gravity versus a lot of our competition. It's nice and low. A lot of the width of the machine is down low, so we don't really struggle with stability on there. But on a side slope, on a taller tyre, you might think, okay, I want a little bit more stability, I'll put a little bit more in. But, it's something like a 650, let's say, a tyre. We could be, you might need a bar and a half on the road fully laden with 6,000 litres in it, but you could be down at 0.6 of a bar as you're getting down towards the empty end of the tank, and that can be the difference between travelling and not travelling, or kind of making a mess.
You're opening up your working window, aren't you? Within the season to get the job done.
And that's what our customers want, whether it's through central tyre inflation or whether it's through PWM and our ability to control the pressure without affecting work rates and such. That's all.
Especially the wind as well. I've heard PWM really comes into his own.
Yeah, that's what we're driving.
It's one of its big ticks anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Whether you're the grower yourself or whether you're a contractor, that's extending that window and helping you with your ability to get the product on. Because if the agronomist is advising you to put that product on, you want it on, and you want it on in the most timely manner possible.
Absolutely. Well, we're back to the start here, Joe. And just going back to this development with your spot spray, how far off are we sort of talking before commercial reality?
So, to be honest with you, the product itself is actually a product called One Smart Spray, which is Bosch and BASF. So that's their product. So essentially, we'll get to the end of this 3-year project, and we will see where we've kind of reached at that point, and see kind of where we go to next. So, keep your eyes open, and we'll kind of see where we end up there. I think is probably sensible.
Pardon the pun, but spot on. Loving it.
Cheers.
Joe,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Great little tour of that.
Thank you very much.
Time to whip up a bit of a storm on the major equipment stand in the form of the Cyclone mowers here. So we've got Martin Walsh, who's going to talk us through them. You've got a fair old size of one here, Martin.
This is one of our larger ones. It's the 6.2 metre, folds up into a 2.8 metre transport width.
Right, so it's in 3 sections, is it?
3 sections, yeah,
right.
2 wings. So it's this is a front mounted model. So we do them rear mounted and front mounted.
Right.
Doing quite a few front mounted models now, in cutting finer grasses and things with these. And obviously the rear mounted, we've been doing those for years, and they will cut anything, heavy brush, clean paddocks, whatever you
trees.
Can, whatever, well,
you can get over it.
Some people try, so the front mounted, that's why it's got the caster wheels on.
Got you, so a bit of ground following.
Bit of ground following on that,
You say this is the 6 metre, is it?
6.3 metre.
6.3 metre. Do you do other sizes as well?
Yeah,
the front version?
We do 5.6, 4.2, 2.8, 2.5.
Oh, you got a fair old
big
selection.
We have a big selection of them.
So it's 3 discs, well, effectively, sort of disc per.
It's 3 cutting rotors per section.
Right.
So this one's got 9 cutting rotors. Our 5.6 metre would have just the 8 sections, would have only 2 in the middle, would have actually the same wings on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Got you. And what would you say are some of the standout features of your Cyclone mowers?
Well, I suppose the blade system there is probably the main difference. It's a small diameter rotor. It's got 2 cutting blades and 2 mulching blades up higher, and it's mounted behind a disc. And as the blades, if they hit an obstacle, they swing back and also up, so they're protected better.
Right.
And the multiple blades, having that many rotors gives you that fine cut and mulch and spread of the material when it's cut.
Yeah. And would you say, like, with it being a smaller sort of rotor and the tips of the disc, when you're getting into that really heavy stuff, can you kind of keep up the inertia a bit better with something a bit smaller rather than
absolutely
a big one being pulled down, if you know what I mean?
We've got plenty of speed on the gearbox. We've got those high lift blades that'll just create that whirl and that vacuum, and hence the name, the Cyclone. You do get a lot of airflow.
Does it pull the material up?
It pulls the material up,
get it
cuts it level, and then spreads it nice and evenly, distributes it the full width, no windrowing or anything. They're all heavy duty boxes, shock absorbers between each box, central gearbox feeding them, so each rotor then has its own independent gearbox.
Right.
Heavy rams are lifting it. Again, it's very, very heavy build, very strong and fully galvanized. We build these out of Strinex steel, which is a high yield steel, similar to Hardox.
Yeah.
Swedish
from the same
high
company,
steel.
is it?
Yeah, by the same company, different brand of it. And again, that keeps our weight down but increases our strength.
Right.
So we can front mount a machine of this size then. You know?
Got you.
Yeah. And again, we do the full range. We've got this is the 2.8 metre one behind us.
Yeah, we'll have a look. We'll keep moving around, shall we? Yeah. So this is your 2.8 metre one.
Yeah. That's a kind of a general run, bread and butter machine.
Can you do front and back with this one?
We do front and back with this, yeah. And again, that's 1000 PTO, the exact same blade system underneath.
Right.
And all of them, I suppose I should speak, as the roller, which helps to protect it in rougher areas and stop the machine from grounding.
That's it. Stop it from sinking.
Yeah. And the horsepower requirement on these is quite low because, again, those small diameter rotors are very easy to drive.
Right.
And the gearbox has very low torque on them compared to a huge diameter of a rotor. You would have a 5-6 foot diameter rotor would be putting 3 or 4 times more force up into the box.
That's it, especially as soon as it hits something, it's going to put a lot of shock load back.
A lot of load
and these rollers that you got on the back, as well as following the ground, can you set your cutting height with that and the skids as well?
You help put your cutting height on with that, and people would often kind of carry the machine between the lift arms and the roller, and the skids are just skimming across the top of the ground.
Right.
The rollers, they've got like a wheel hub built into them and it's self-lubricating and everything, so there's no big maintenance on it. Shot of grease every 40 hours or so.
Yeah, that's it.
And all oil bath gearbox. Again, the galvanised as well, you have a very long life product in any conditions.
Do you pretty much galvanise all of your
mowers? Pretty much all our ground scare equipment, and our agricultural equipment is pretty much all galvanised bar covers, and that gives it a bit of colour, and it gives
you still got to have the
identity
on there,
green on there,
the major green on that.
Put on the green jersey.
That's it.
Moving on, this is some of our newer products. So we're doing a range of hedge cutter heads. This one here is the 1.43. This one has the mounting bracket for a digger. So that would be on a 10 ton to 20 ton excavator. Yeah. Very popular. We're selling a lot of these across all the markets. 65mm pens, which is fairly standard on that size. We do a smaller model as well. 35 horsepower hydraulic motor. You've got an overrun clutch there, shock absorber between the gearboxes, and again, we're actually using the same blade system that we spoke about on the Cyclone.
Same
on
stuff,
these,
same concept.
Gearbox driving a rotor.
Right, so this would be ideal for banks and all kinds of...
Banks, hedges, that'll cut up to about 4-inch timber. You'll
4
see it
inch?
there. Yeah.
Bloody hell. Oh, we can see
and I'm sure there's an odd man trying heavier stuff too.
Yeah.
Someone
will try and do a 6-inch.
But they're going...
Only 4 inches.
Shut up, go away.
Is that what your wife said?
So yeah, moving on.
This is the... Edit that.
No.
This is the same one again, but for a hedge cutter arm. So we can put that on a hedge cutter arm on a tractor.
Right.
So we'd have a lot of those. They're mounted on the various different brands of hedge cutter. And again, this one has the hydraulic flap on the front.
Oh yeah, the front hub.
So your hedge cutter clamps onto this box section here. You can take off the existing head or maybe a replacement. Very popular, does a good job. It'll cut up to 3-4 years growth in a single pass.
Yeah.
Better ground speed, and it's much better on verge work. It'll do a way cleaner cut on grass and a lot less load on it. You know.
Then a flail type sort of
Then a flail. You've got less moving parts. You've less blades on it to maintain and sharpen. You've only the 4 cutting blades. You don't have the long rotor here, so you don't have the problem of rotors going out of balance.
That's just about
which is the headache of everybody cutting hedges.
Yeah.
And also, actually, another problem for hedge cutters is wire wrapping around them. And again, if it does on this, it's a lot easier to get it off than on a big spiral roller.
Yeah, you've got a big massive rotor, have you?
But yeah, that thing of rebalancing heads on a regular basis is a pain for a lot of hedge cutting contractors, you know. And the time, the ground speed is better with this. You know,
you can go a bit faster.
You can go a bit faster. You can tap her on, and it'll take out. With the way the environmental things are going now, they don't want us cutting hedges on as regular a basis.
No.
So you've got 3-4 years of growth to deal with regularly, and it is much better on that. You know?
Yeah, I remember it being a nightmare.
A nightmare, yeah. And it's a pretty slow, meticulous job. So they're going very well. Obviously, a lot of people buy a hedge cutter and it'll have whatever head on it, but in the replacement market, we're doing very, very well with it.
So it's just that another option, isn't
another
it?
option,
Another option to look at.
And again, it'll take up to that 4-inch timber. So we just have this one more here.
One more
that I have to show you here.
Single rotor.
Single rotor, your smaller diggers, 3 ton up. Again, we can put the various size heads on it, 30mm pins, 45mm pins, whatever you have. We'll make up a head to match it. And that's a nice simple one. That's got I think it's a 16 horsepower motor on that one, and 50 litre max. So any digger I've sold them to, there's no problem running them.
Yeah. Easy drive.
Very easy to drive.
Yeah.
And again, that sort of mulching blade and cutting blade.
Yeah.
So
and just the skids on this one, you don't
just
have to...
2 little skids on it, and an open front just to get the material in there more.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So yeah, they're going well. It's a whole new thing selling to excavator drivers and that, but. Yeah, we're doing well on it.
The edge cutter head here, just going back to this one here.
Sure.
When you're cutting a edge, obviously you get a lot of stuff flying off.
And
when they say this was doing the top, your rotors are going this way, it's kind of throwing stuff out a bit. Do you get much stuff coming back?
It's kind of coming back this way, yeah.
So it's like front.
Yeah,
out the back really.
They're counter-rotating blades, I should have said. So you've got a clockwise and an anti-clockwise.
So
they tend to drift it out through the middle here and come to the back. Obviously, you will have, as you have in any hedge cutter, you'll have the odd little thing flying here and there, debris. But generally, it's a pretty good feed out the back. Yeah.
There you go. Spot on. Well, Martin.
Great. Thanks a million, James.
No worries. Thank you very much for that. It's been absolutely cracking. Nice one.
Good. Talk to you.
Right, folks. Now time for a bit of diet feeder chat on the Abbey machinery stand at LAMMA 2025. We've got George Dakin here who's going to take us through it because it's a bit different for the UK. You've had it around plenty of other markets, but now you've brought it to...
Now we've got it here at LAMMA in the UK, that's it, yeah. So this is the tri-auger feeder from Abbey. We do single augers, twin augers, tri-augers. So it's a machine we've had out for years now. We've got plenty of them across in Ireland, we've got them in European markets, we've got them in UAE on the super farms out there, we've got them on sort of 30,000 cow dairy herds out there supplying there, but it's something we've never really sort of pushed and had penetration on the sort of England-Scotland market. But this one's now actually sold into Scotland, so we've been able to bring it here, timed it right, which is really exciting. So yeah, it's good just to be able to get it in front of people, get it on this market, because there's a lot of people that haven't seen it before, perhaps didn't even know that we did it this size.
Well, that's it. I've certainly never seen a tri-auger Abbey about. Like I say, I've seen plenty of singles and twin augers, loads of them about.
That's it, our bread and butter machine. You'd have seen it quite a lot, but yeah, just not the tri-auger. So yeah, really pleased that we've been able to get it here, which is great. And it's been a really good reception so far. People that have seen it that say no, product users already gone, oh, great to see it here.
So it raised a few eyebrows as well.
Oh, it has, certainly around the place. Plenty of questions asked by plenty of people as well, which is nice. So yeah, it's a good machine. It's the same usual Abbey build that everyone knows and loves, and just gone into that bigger market, which is great.
And what capacity is this one?
So this is 33.5 on the side. You're about 34 cube this machine, so it's a good size. You can do a hell of a herd with it, and it's catering all markets. We do go bigger as well, and it's one of them that, again, it's just trying to establish to get people to know just how big we go, which is great.
Right. So how big can you go?
Well, we can cater to anything. People are getting into the market now on these tri-augers, trying to get into like 40 cube, 45 big, or we can cater for all that because the facility we've got in Ireland, it can.
You can do it.
Yeah, there's no limit on how big we can go. That's just the thing. We've got all the tooling to keep going higher, taller, wider. You can get all the augers as wide as you need. So it's all perfect.
Well, that's
really.
it with diet feeders. I've heard this off many diet feeder manufacturers. Is because you're trying to get a diet feeder to fit in someone's farm, round the yard, in their buildings.
That's exactly it.
You've got to have such a flexible build process with these things, don't you?
That's it. Because there's
no height, width.
That's it. These things, you can have them on the front, the back, wherever. Where do you want your doors?
Exactly.
That's it, because one man's yard's completely different to the next man's, so he's got a tall shed, a low shed, I've got a tight corner around the back or something.
He's got no chop,
exactly.
He's got floor, it's nice.
Exactly. He goes, oh, I'm going to go down my slats if I go that way. I can't do it, so you've got to be so flexible that really, like I say, you can just cater to anyone with what you're doing.
So you could pretty much do any option on this?
Absolutely, you know, in terms of door arrangement, height, widths, axles, steering axles, gearboxes, so we've got a 2-speed on here.
I was going to say, let's have a look at gearbox.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
You've got to drive 3 augers, which is going to take a bit of start-up.
Well, that's it. And not everyone's feeder tractor is a massive tractor, you see. No. They don't want to have to buy a big new tractor to just go on the feeder.
No,
so we've got the 2-speed option here, but what we also offer, we offer a Cheftronic gearbox, which is basically like a Vario gearbox for the front of the feeder. So you could even have a smaller tractor on there, you know, your usual feeder tractor that you've had maybe on your twin auger. And then you're going up to this tri-auger with, say, 15 tonne of silage in or something like that. And with the Vario gearbox that we can offer, you can put that on the front and you'll be grand. As long as the tractor's big enough to pull it round your yard, your PTO will power it.
As long as you can haul it round.
Exactly, that's where your limiting factor comes from. So as long as you can pull the weight around, you're absolutely grand. So yeah, that Vario gearbox that we offer, it's a good option.
And it is just basically like a hydrostatic gearbox.
Near enough, I mean, I wouldn't know the ins and outs myself. I'm not one of the engineering team, but yeah, exactly.
But you can just build up the speed gradually.
That's it. It'll take what it needs. It'll assess the load on the machine. It'll adjust it itself. Takes the load into the augers, measures that, and says, right, this is the load we've got. We'll put that gearbox ratio in and powers it through like that. So yeah, it's a hell of a bit of a kit.
So, is that something you could tie into like a feed plan or something like that? So as you're, an ingredient plan, as you're loading it into it, it could alter its speed accordingly.
So what it does, through the device control we've got, you can have a system on there, so as it's weighing it in, you can put your full ration into it. So you put in a bit of this much straw, this much silage, this much whatever, it'll flick up, you can have it on your phone or whatever, and it'll say, yeah, we're at that point now, we've got that much in there, onto your next one, onto your next one. And then when it's unloading as well, it knows how much it's emptied, and right, we've got this much out so far, I need to speed up, whatever. It's it's a really useful bit of kit, and for these bigger farms that have got more to manage, it's just another tool you've got to keep on top of things.
Some tech in them now, isn't there?
It's serious. It's like everything around here at this show, isn't it? There's nothing small these days, is there?
It. And running gear, because obviously there's a bit of weight up there. So.
Yeah, running gear. So your full steering axles, your full sort of high-speed axles and all that. Because a lot of these people, this sort of scale, they're quite often going between 2 farms. They're taking on the neighbours. So they're running out of one set of clamps.
So you get a lot of multi-bringing
the feeder now,
don't you?
Yeah, bringing the feeder across. So if you're doing road work, right, where you need a bit of more capacity. So yeah, it's just trying to cater for all markets really. So really, we think we've hit the nail on the head with it anyway.
That's it, no. And I presume with your bigger capacity ones, you'll stick another axle under there, do you?
Yeah, you can. If people want if you wanted 3, you can have 3. Again, you've just got to be so flexible. It's pick and choose what you want and make it to suit. But to be fair, the twin axle is pretty bang on job with that steering axle on the back. It seems to suit.
Well, that's it, because your pivot point will be moved further forwards, won't it? It'll be sort of like you, won't it?
That's it. And if you put another one on the front, you're throwing that again. So it's just that balancing act.
Yeah, and extend your tyre life a little bit.
Well, that's it. Extended life on these machines is what we're after. We've got the extra lining on the inside there. It's extra hard ox lined, just to give you
that's that bottom section, is
that's it there. So we've got a 22mm auger in there, which is an upgraded auger. We've got a 20mm base plate, an 8mm wall. Yeah, it's built for life, that is.
Steel, that there.
That's it. It's a lot of steel to be dragging around.
Yeah. No besting about Abbey machinery,
we try the best.
There you go.
Try the best.
Good stuff. Well, George.
Spot on.
Cracking that.
Oh, thanks very much.
No, it's been good to see that. It's a good update that. And,
no, perfect. Thanks for coming across.
See how it goes at UK and Scotland.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
UK and Scotland, like we've got rid of it. You and me, it's been a long day, all right. Yeah, we'll see how it goes in the UK. There
That's
we go.
it, keep it firing on.
Yeah. Grand. Lovely stuff.
Lovely. Cheers now.
We move on. We're now on the JF Hudson Limited stand. We're back joined by the man himself, Mr. James Hudson. As ever, you've always got something that you're developing and working on. We've seen many of your products over the years, and you've got another one for us, which is, hang on, I can read this one, agricultural tank monitoring system.
Yeah.
Right. Hit me with it.
So basically, it's a system to monitor the level of fluid in a tank.
Right.
So like digestate in a slurry store, something like that, and it'll monitor the level and also the rate of change, which basically means if it's leaking, it's going to ring you up and tell you.
Right. So if the rate of change is fairly rapid, something wrong somewhere.
Yeah. This is a bad situation.
Yeah. You need to know about this.
So yeah, it's a system that sort of put together from a different couple of different components, and it's just quite. I don't know. It just seemed like I was sat in the workshop this time last year, and I thought there's someone near to me who has quite a lot of tanks remote located, so they're not near any buildings, and there's no way of him knowing what's in those tanks, whether they're leaking or whether they're getting full. Because equally, like they get to a certain level, and then you can have a load of rain that will overfill them. So you want to be on top of that as well.
Right.
Especially last winter. Last winter was
yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
And will this work on any tank with any liquid? Or?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. The main thing is, as long as you can get a hole in, like if it's got a lid on it, as long as you put a hole in the lid, because it's a radar looking down, and it's just bouncing back all the time, and depending on how often you use the tank, you can determine how often it reports in the data, and then you go onto a website and it's just all there. Yeah. And you can see how it's fluctuated. And you can also.
So this just feeds back to like a web platform, and you can just go on there and have a look at all the data.
Yeah, so the box that goes on the back of it, that basically you've got the radar and then you've got a box that's transmitting the data. That's the really clever bit. And I didn't put that together, that's something I found that was available.
Right.
And it's basically brought it to agriculture.
Yeah.
That is pretty clever stuff, because there's quite a bit of sort of technology that's gone into it to make it as reliable as possible.
Right.
To make sure the data gets to where it needs to be.
Yeah. Speaking of that data and how it gets to where it needs, how does it get to where it needs to be? I assume it's sent up to the cloud, is it, or something like that?
So it's got a roaming SIM card in it. So it'll pick up a signal and then it'll switch between cell towers to whichever's the strongest. Yeah. And then it basically,
Well, I see, if you've got a tank leak, you don't want to be waiting for signal, do you? No, it wants to be sort of happening there and then.
Yeah, and there's two options. There's basically a battery one and there's a solar one. So the reason for the two differences is because depending on how often you want it to report in the data, it can be that your solar is the better option, because if you get to too many reports per day, the battery can't keep up.
Got you. Right.
So, but it's also all the time, it's monitoring the level in between sending the data.
Yeah, it's not just at that point and then that point.
So it'll wake up, read the data, it'll wake up, read the level, if it's not changed, go back to sleep. And it'll just do that as often as you want, but then you can set it to transmit data in between those, and that's what takes a bit of doing.
Right.
So yeah.
Some clever bits of kit
it
involved.
is there, yeah. But it's not me that's developed that. That was already available.
Yeah, you've brought these components together to make this system.
And basically provide a solution to a problem.
Yeah. That's what you do, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what you do.
So I try. Yeah. Keep trying.
What brought it about? Oh, you mentioned before your neighbour, is it? Or someone that you know that's got lots of tanks?
Yeah, someone local to me who he has a lot of remote located tanks, and I was just sat in the workshop one day and thinking he's no way of monitoring those, and it's probably quite useful. Especially when you're running wagons. So you're running wagons, these tanks, and you don't know whether they have the capacity to take a wagon load or not. So if you can sit in an office and say, right, well, we've got capacity there, we can send 3 wagons there, 2 wagons there, and those will be full. It's like that.
Sorted, isn't it?
When you're running a wagon, it's not cheap.
No, definitely. You can see all the data on your phone and stuff like that.
So it's the same website available to view on your phone.
Right.
And you can I've done it all over.
You sat on holiday, haven't
you? Yeah. So it's just like, well, maybe I'll just have a look and go on and
And is there a sort of way of giving permission to the people that need to know these levels? Like you can pick certain people that can access this data.
Yeah, so you can basically create as many logins as you want and give them the permissions they need to view the data without altering stuff.
Right.
Because that's the last thing we want to do is someone going in and fiddling with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite, the software is pretty easy to use and user friendly. So yeah.
Cool. You say, will this sit inside a tank as well? Would it work inside the tank?
It would,
like under the lid.
As long as you could get access to it, yeah.
Right.
So you need access to be able to just if it did for whatever reason give bother, then you'd be able to swap it.
Right. So as long as you can get to it.
Yeah.
And it's looking at the level, it's all right.
Yeah. But in fairness, this has turned into to say it started as an idea in the workshop when I was sat just having a cup of tea. It's turned into quite a bit more of that because there's a system that we'll be installing in the next few months that is going to use irrigation pipes underground to transfer digestate from an AD plant to remote located tanks.
Right.
The irrigation pipes are already in there and it's just a case of using them, but that's involving radars and flow meters as well, and then a dedicated sort of network system to get the data back to the AD plant.
All right.
And the whole reason for that is to save money on the cost of running wagons.
Yeah.
Because the cost it's going to save is massive.
You need to be able to direct it as well, won't you, depending on where it's going. And
so it's going to. There's 3 tanks that are going to get fed off from the AD plant, and the top of it is they need to know that what's left the AD plant has reached the tank. They need to be able to do that.
It'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, you don't want to be losing it halfway along.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Exactly.
So it's turned into quite a bit more than I expected. Quite quickly.
It's fairly expanded.
Yeah. But that's why we do what we do, because you just never know.
Exactly. Yeah. What starts off as a simple little idea, and it just
Well, what starts off as a simple idea.
Legs.
It starts off as a simple idea, and then you're like, it gets really complicated really quick, because then you're like, well, what about this? What about that? What about the other? Oh, can it do this? Can it do that? And then you're like, well, we'll have to find something that'll do that. And I have done some
kind of stuff that keeps you awake at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hang on. We've got another idea for this.
So
oh, there you go.
It is quite funny when I go out. Everyone's like, "What are you developing now? What are you doing now?" And I can't help it. It's just why would you want an easy life?
Well, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Grand. Well, always good to catch up with James.
Very good.
Absolutely cracking little development, that.
Yeah.
So, I look forward to see how it sort of evolves further.
So would I. I have no idea.
Grand stuff.
Nice one. Right, catch you in a bit.
Sporting a rather impressive stand of tractors is Deutz-Fahr. So what we're going to do, rather than focus on one product, for a little bit of a change, we're going to go on a stand tour and kind of just sort of see where Deutz-Fahr is at with its range of tractors and what it's got to offer. So, to take us on this little whistle-stop tour, we've got Mr. David Jefferson, who you've seen before in previous episodes. So, David, where should we start? Should we start at the bottom end and work our way up?
Okay, you want to start at the bottom? Let's go over to a 3 series.
Right. So what series is this one then?
This is a 3 series.
This is 3. So this will pretty much be the smallest one you do, is it?
This is our entry-level tractor. So this is a 3050, 50 horsepower. You can have a 3060, which is a 60 horsepower version.
Right.
As you can see, this one's cabless. You can have a cab option, and you can also have agricultural tyres as well.
Okay. So what would be the main industries you sell this into then?
Obviously, you get very different industries. They're on caravan parks.
Yeah.
Some use them as little scraper tractors, chicken sheds.
Yeah.
Anything like that, and hobby farmers as well.
That's it. So just an ideal little tractor. And gearbox in this, what would it be in this?
This one is just a very simple mechanical gearbox. So you can see we've got our 4 speeds. We've got a high-low gear lever here, and you've got options of a creeper section down there as well.
There you go. Just a handy little tractor.
Yeah, I think it's 12x6.
Right. And where would this one be made,
This one's made in our Lublin factory, which is in Poland.
Right, so this is out of Poland as well. Cool, grand stuff. Right, should we move on? Upper range?
Well, we're moving to Italy now.
Right.
And this is one of our specialised tractors, one of our fruit tractors.
Yeah.
Would you believe this is the widest one that we offer?
This is the widest fruit tractor, right?
This is the widest one that we offer. So we got a DF, and we've got a DS, and we've got a DV.
Right.
So DF, and I remember it as fat.
Right.
DS is skinny.
Yeah.
And DV is very skinny.
Very skinny.
That's how I remember them.
That's it, I'll stick with that, yeah.
And we can have these in standard power shift transmissions. We can have them with mechanical forward reverse shuttles. We can have power shuttles. We can also have TTV versions.
All right.
So a full range.
What's the spec choice then?
Oh, these tractors can be so specified.
Yeah.
When you got the professional fruit growers, they have so much equipment that they put onto these, bolt onto them.
They do, don't they?
Mid-mount valves, front valves, rear valves, mid-mount valves. We have front suspension.
They load them up, don't they?
Front suspension with independent front axle suspension and everything.
On this?
Why would you have that? You would ask that, wouldn't
Yeah.
you? The reason why, when they've got a front-mounted vine trimmer on this tractor, if you normal suspension like this tractor's got, when you go over an undulation, the tractor rocks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You've got your vine trimmer up here,
Right
hanging out on the arm. This rocks.
You've lost half your crop.
Well, you got the tip area like this, so that's why they have independent wishbone suspension on here, and it also keeps the wheel flat to the floor.
Yeah.
So you don't lose any traction whatsoever.
That's it, especially they're on some serious slopes.
Oh, they are.
Am I right in thinking? Did you do some rear wheel steering on these as well?
Yes, so you can have four-wheel steer. So you get an 18-degree on the rear axle as well. You can crab, you can do whatever you wish.
Isn't it?
The specification available on this range is
full
immense.
on Swiss Army knife, that.
Yeah.
Right, where to next?
We'll start over.
So we're off this way now.
We're going to go to Turkey.
We're off to Turkey now.
We're going to go to Turkey.
It's a proper international tour on your stand, isn't it?
So we're going to start with our 5D key line.
Right.
So this is
That's
here.
this little one here.
And this is a range that will go from 70 up to 100 horsepower.
Yeah.
So we can have this with power shuttle or synchro shuttle. We've got one here, this is loader ready. So this is how it will arrive from the factory. Literally, you just bolt the loader boom onto it and you're farming.
That's it, you're off.
You're off.
You're away.
So the dealer has no work to do to install it. Very compact, very simple tractor. You can have a downswept exhaust if you wanted a downswept exhaust.
You could have it down there, could you?
If you wanted to, yes.
Right. Just an ideal little loader tractor for
So this is a 5D key line. One that we're missing is an Italian 5D. So that's made in our Italian factory, a little higher spec. It's got a gearboxes that's got high, medium and low, so 45 by 45 in the transmissions. But then we pop back to Turkey to our thing that we just launched this last year, which is the 5 key line.
Right, so this is one of your most recent ones, this one, is it?
So this will go from 75 horsepower right up to 105 horsepower. Again, loader ready. This came down to the factory with the loader fitted.
Yeah.
So, with the loader bracketry fitted. You know, even I installed a loader on this tractor. Even I did it. So a very, very simple tractor with all of the essential specification, not with too much on that people don't use.
But enough.
Absolutely, everything. You can specify what you need.
Lots of levers in there, which is great.
Yeah, it's all mechanical. There's no electric lift on this range.
Yeah.
Mechanical. So this is the younger brother to our Italian 5 Series, our full fat.
This is the full fat 5 Series.
So here we got, you can see we've got electric lift available on here. We've got a higher hydraulic pump rate of 90 litres.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a HML transmission option on here. You know, it's full of all the Italian specification and, you know, the finish and the quality that you would expect.
So this will be out of Trevelio, is it?
This is out of our Trevelio factory, yes.
Right. It's obviously famous for the Sammy brand.
It is. That is the home of Sammy.
The home of Sammy, yes.
But we bring them all from the same factory.
Yeah.
So this one goes right up to 125 horsepower.
All right, little punchy thing.
So we down to 90 horsepower up to 125, but predominantly people take the 5125.
There we go.
Good
stuff.
It's a good package.
Where's next?
Next, we move next door, and we're still in Trevelio.
We're still in Italy at this point.
And we've got a 6135 RV shift here. So the RV shift is a transmission we launched here 3 years ago, I believe. and a certain person was very sceptical about it.
What were they now?
Were they now? But I believe they've had a go with an RV shift since, and they found it rather...
It worked.
It worked.
I can't deny it. It does work.
No.
It's,
so
once you get your head around it and what it is and what it can do,
it's a, you know, the range can be a mechanical gear lever, so we can have a power shift version, as we call it. We've got the RV shift here on display today, and then we can have a TTV
you can do
version.
a TTV version of this.
Yeah.
So speaking of TTV, what's the lowest horsepower you could get with a TTV?
We talked about our international...
That little fella over there.
Little fella over there, that can be down to 75 horsepower in the TTV.
Right, so you take CVT right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool, so this one was launched, what is this, 2-3 years ago now?
Yes, yes.
This one that we're looking at, this 6C.
The 6C was launched, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the 6C RV shift built-in Trevilio.
Yeah.
This is the largest tractor that we're going to get out of Italy.
Okay, right. So we top out at this.
Yeah, so you can see here we've got the 4-post cab.
Yeah.
Now we move to Germany.
So Lauingen
in Germany.
Deutz-Fahr.
Deutz-Fahr, and we've got our 6.4. The 6.4, you can see it's got the Maxivision cab, the 6-post cab. So, but this is underneath this, it's still got the farm motion engine, the engine that we manufacture.
That's your engine, isn't it?
But it's got the RV shift transmission that we built in Italy. We manufacture all of this tractor. We don't make the tyres, we don't make the glass.
Yeah.
But we manufacture everything, the front axle, the rear axle, the engine, the transmission.
Quite a Deutz-Fahr thoroughbred, this one.
It is,
a
thoroughbred. And this is the tractor that you had
This is the one we had last year, isn't it, in 2024. So, yeah, if you haven't seen that, viewers, go check it out.
So, this is the start of our production in Germany. So this is.
How many models are in this one?
So we got
4.
This is the top. There's a 6130, 6140, and a 6150.4.
In the .4s, right.
Again, this is RV shift, but you can get it as a TTV.
Yeah. So you can, but even our RV shift, the specs pretty.
Yeah, no.
Pretty good on
they're
this.
They're good ton. You know, 7-ton lift on here. No, this one's 7-ton, but it can be 9-ton.
That's right. Yeah.
It goes up to 9-ton.
And then two Lecky spills. 2 mechanical spills from memory.
Yeah, that's You can have all mechanical if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But you know, the hybrid system is what's going. You know, we've got air brakes on there.
Yeah. And that easy switch over in the cab of your spool aside, and it's just.
So your spool valves can work the front linkage or the rear linkage or a mixture of the both.
That's it. Yeah. It was just easy case of cycling through, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
There we go.
So going now to our RC shift. So again, built in Germany, we've got a 6170 RC shift here.
So we've gone up in stature and
we're
size
now gone to 6-cylinder.
Size.
We've gone to 6-cylinder.
Right.
So everything up to now has been 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
So we're now on a 6-cylinder.
So these will be the Deutz engines in these.
We're now on Deutz engines, yes.
6.1 litres, are they?
6.1 litre Deutz engine,
Right.
Stage 5 obviously.
Right.
So this is 6170, 171 horse. There's a model below, a 6160.
Yeah.
We've got this one geared out with our Power 6 package, which is our promotion at the moment, where we get the additional extended warranty, a special finance program, driver kits with shiny exhaust, floor mats, fridges.
Right.
It's all the package that we're running at the moment. So this one's got the RC shift. So this is 5 gears with 6 power splits.
Okay, right.
And you can drive that manually.
Yeah.
So you put your in a gear and it stays in a gear. You can drive it semi-automatic, where you've got the transmission will go through the power shifts on its own.
Yeah.
Or full automatic, and it'll go through the gears and the power shifts.
Right.
On there.
There you go. And the gearbox in this app is ZF, is it, in this one?
This is a ZF transmission, yes.
Good stuff.
So now we move on to our TTV models. And we'll start
still in the 6 series.
Still on the 6 series.
TTVs now.
So
this is your continuously variable transmission.
Here's our 6190 TTV.
In the lovely
Java green.
It's Java.
Java.
Spelt Java.
Yeah.
We were having this argument with cameraman Chris the other day. So it's Java green. Nice green though.
Yeah, it's my favourite. I'm a little bit biased.
It does look good.
So here we've got a 6190 TTV. This one includes is the new compound transmission. So we have the best of both worlds with input and output coupled, the smooth drive takeoff and the efficiency.
Yeah, yeah. Effectively like a 2-range CVT, but it automatically changes range with no interruptions in between whatsoever.
The driver does not do anything.
No, you just leave it to it.
Yep, leave
Point
it to
and
it.
shoot, really.
That's it.
Yeah.
So here we've got 6190 TTV, obviously 190 horsepower. We have go all the way up to 230 horsepower in this range.
Quite a punchy range.
Yep, it's good. It's good. After the 6 series,
we're on to 7s now, aren't we?
We come up to 7 series, and here we've got one in Warrior specification.
So in the Warrior Black.
Yeah, 7250 TTV, 247 horsepower, full CVT. We've got a 10-ton rear lift. It's still now a 6.1 litre engine.
Yeah.
So it's still the Deutz thoroughbred through and through.
So you got the 7250. Is there a 7230 as well? Have you still got
No,
that one?
no, that was many years ago, the 7230.
Oh, right.
We have a 7250 HD.
Right.
Which basically has the same running gear, the same transmission as an 8 series.
Yeah.
But only with the 250 horsepower engine.
Right.
So, whereas the 8 series goes to a bigger engine, slightly different engine.
Right.
On there, but that's basically what the HD version gives you is higher carrying capacity on the rear end.
Oh, okay, so it's just
it gives you a different set of tyre options because of different gearbox ratios and things like that.
Right, got you. So it's just a slightly different back end.
Yeah.
Right.
So this has got a 10-ton lift. The HD version would have 11.1.
Right, got you.
We've got a clean oil system on this tractor. So the transmission oil and the hydraulic oil is totally separated. So here we can see the clean oil tank here, and we can have up to 90 litres out of this.
All right, 90 litres of takeout.
Of takeout, more than adequate for any job that you want to do. But, and that's also on the 6190 TTV as well.
Right, that's the separate oil reservoirs.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So here we've now got...
So we move up a...
8 series. Again, 8282 TTV Warrior here.
That's got some presence, hasn't it?
It is. It's this was the introduction of that new CVT transmission
That's
that we did.
This compound transmission. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in 2020 in the launch during COVID. This tractor was. Would you believe?
Do you know? I remember it back in a former life. I remember the launch. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, 8280, 287 horsepower here.
Yeah. Are we still with the 6.1 litre engine?
We've got a 6.1 litre engine, but it's a twin turbo engine on here.
Twin turbo, yes.
So there's two turbos, and also we've got 2 cooling systems.
Yes.
So it makes a big difference because the cooling systems look after specific things. One of the turbos is dedicated to one cooling system.
Right.
And also it's run by an electric pump as well. So it can be managed independently. So if you want more cooling or less cooling, that can be, the speed of the pump is automatically managed.
Right.
So 8 series here, this one's fully equipped with RTK guidance on it. And it's able to do telemetry with agri-router connectivity. So if you want to send your field maps to it and things like that, it's just all done from the farm office.
Cool. Right. Last one now, is it?
Last one.
Last one in the range.
That we've got here for you today is our 9 series.
So this is the 9340, is it?
9340 TTV. So this is the top of our range.
Right. This is your flagship, is it?
336 horsepower, 60 kph. We've got front disc brakes on the tractor. So inside here.
What, outboard disc brakes?
Outboard disc brakes.
Proper outboard disc brakes.
So 600 millimeters diameter disc brakes.
Do you get those on the 8 series as well?
They're on the 8 series, and they start from everything over 200 horsepower for the UK.
All right.
So we put them on everything that's over 200 horsepower. Yeah, but
and what's the sort of reasons you guys do that?
Well, the braking.
I mean, I can see the reasons why, but like you don't see it on anyone else's.
The braking on your car, the brakes are all done on the front axle, aren't they?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Most of it, yeah.
60% of the braking is done on the front axle of here. It really helps and supports the brakes, we never have transmission issues from braking.
Right.
Because all the brakes is shared on the front axle as well.
Yeah.
You know, they're very, very, very solid on there.
Right.
You want to see the party trick?
Go on then. Oh, is this the Lecky bonnet? And we're off. Big reveal. So what engine have we got in this one then?
This one is a 7.8 litre Deutz engine.
Right.
Again, a twin turbo.
Yeah.
But we can't get all the 336 horses out of the 6.1.
No, she's maxed out.
She's maxed out on that.
That's it.
But yeah, when you want to work on this, you've got excellent access.
I see you got access all around, haven't you?
I will shut it down before somebody gets in there.
I was going to say, it's just sparked some interest, that, hasn't it? So in terms of other tractor series, I know Agritechnica many times they've shown 11 series and things like that. And
yeah, the 11 series, gosh, I was not long after I joined the company that was previewed there.
They were touting that around,
No, it's not made it any further from the drawing board yet.
Right.
It's a question of volumes in the market. Does it justify it?
Yeah.
You know, how many would we sell? Is it worth the R&D development? And over recent years, we've had lots and lots of time having to get through mother regulations, stage 4, stage 5, and all those.
Yeah.
Just absorbs so much time in R&D.
Yeah. And what other sort of developments are on the horizon potentially?
Well, we've a lot of development is more on the digital side of the business now.
Right.
On the what's going to come through on autonomy and things like that. So there's all sorts of work on that behind the scenes. We've already got the fruit tractors here.
Yeah.
You know, we've got them working autonomously through R&D.
Yeah.
So it's a system. The company purchased a company called Vitibot, which is a grapevine system, and we're using technology that's used on that.
Right.
And transferred it across the two tractors.
Cool, good stuff. Well, that was a cracking little tour of your stand, and actually most of your range is here as well, which is great to see.
But the only thing that we don't have is a Italian 5D series.
Yeah.
But we've got everything else here.
No, it's been good to see. So yeah, thank you very much for
You're
that
welcome.
tour, and we shall continue. Do you know that old saying, go big or go home? Well, Merlot has gone big at LAMMA 2025, not just with the size of its stand, but also the stature of this big beast behind us, which is the TF65.9 telehandler. So, we've got the main man himself, Mr. Sean Groom from Merlot UK, who's going to talk us around this machine. So, Sean, first of all, good to see you.
Likewise, James. Always good to see you.
We are now at the end of day one. How has your event been?
Manic. Been probably one of the best first days I've ever seen at LAMMA in the 30 years I've been coming to LAMMA.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fantastic.
I know when we've been walking around today, there's points where you can't walk around. Yeah. It's just been absolutely nuts. So, we made it to you eventually. We made it to the end of the yellow brick road. We're here now.
Yep.
And we're looking forward to this. So, Sean, talk us through this machine. Is it a new development? Does it replace anything? Where does it sit in the range?
Okay, absolutely. So our agricultural range is the TF Turbo Farmer range, and specifically designed for agriculture because we also manufacture a construction range of product as well.
That's right.
But in this case, specifically built for ag, so 65.9 denotes its capacity, so it's a 6.5 ton lift machine with a 9 metre maximum working height when the boom's fully extended. It tops out our agricultural range in terms of lift capacity, but we do go bigger in terms of reach up to 11 metres with a 4511.
Right.
So biggest lift capacity, but still with 9 metres of lift. So this is a TCS model, so the CS denotes cab suspension in this case.
Right.
It's a 170, which denotes the horsepower, 170 horsepower FPT Iveco engine.
Yeah.
And it's our CVTronic transmission. So all Merlots are fully hydrostatic, but in this case we've got the CVT continuous drive element to it, which makes it particularly ideal for arduous towing. If you're towing a lot of trailers, doing a lot of road work,
so
CVT
you
comes
can
in.
see this doing a lot of straw work type of stuff then,
Absolutely.
can't you? With the reach, the capacity, the travelling distance, capability, that kind of thing.
Fully homologated for the road, type approved, dual line hydraulic brakes now with the new year, Pick-up hitch, of course. We've got the
Come on,
option of
let's have a
air.
look. Show us round.
Absolutely. So at the back end, you could call it the business end here to start with. So we equip pretty much our entire agricultural range with a pick-up hitch as standard in the UK. Obviously, most stock applications, most livestock farms in particular, have got something on a hitch and tow and move on a regular basis.
Even just a case of shunting around the yard.
Absolutely.
You know.
It's we all know with four-wheel steer, it makes it a really handy machine to move trailers and implements around the yard. What has changed this year is the introduction of dual-line hydraulic brakes. So this is coming as a requirement of a new change in law from the EU, that hydraulically braked attachments, implements will have to work on a dual-line system that are new from this year onwards.
Right.
However, if you've got an existing trailed implement trailer on a single-line hydraulic brake, it will still work on the intelligent dual-line setup.
So you're covered?
You're covered.
Right.
So the important thing is you've got brakes on a Merlot, we've got two services to the rear, one we use for the hitch, and you've got another one if you've got a tipping trailer or something that you need to power as well.
So we don't have to go switching between the two?
You can leave the hitch plugged in and still tip your trailer.
Ideal.
Okay, so one thing you'll always find with a Merlot, you'll never see us with counterbalance weights on the back end of the machine.
Right.
We build the weight, the counterbalance, into the machine itself. We don't want
It's engineered in from the start.
We're not looking to bolt on spurious lumps of steel.
Lumps that you see sticking out there.
Because our aim really is to keep this machine as compact as possible.
Yeah.
You know, we've got some of the shortest overhang on the back of any machine on the market for this size. You've got, as I said, it's a big capacity machine. So we've got a suitably sized chassis running front to back through the machine.
Thick, isn't it?
It's serious bit of steel.
Inching a bit of that, isn't it? Somewhere along those lines.
When you
like
see
say
that,
you put the weight in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you might as well have it.
Yeah, and also if you look underneath the cab here,
Yeah.
this tubular section that you can see here, that is solid steel. That's 40 kilos a linear metre.
Right.
So those of you that remember the Merlot design of old, the ring of steel that we had about,
yeah.
So you'll find the ring of steel in certain elements on the machine still today, and that brings us counterbalance low down where it's needed to keep us sure-footed on the ground.
Well, that's it, especially on this side as well, because obviously you've got your heavy components on this side.
Yeah.
You might as well balance it out with something on this side.
Absolutely.
And again, engineer that weight in.
Yep.
Use it.
Yep.
There you go. You say this is suspended, this cab.
So yeah, suspended
right now
cab.
It's sat down, is it?
Right down. So really for the show, we set it right down, make it easy to climb into. You can control the cab suspension in cab, so you can set whether it's on or off. If you're exiting the machine, you can drop it right down like this to make ease of access.
Right.
So hydraulic system with an accumulator, giving you 90 millimetres of travel. And of course, if you rode a telehandler, you'll fully appreciate you sit over the potholes in the UK. Unlike our counterparts in Europe on the other side of the road, we're sitting in the middle of the road, we are sitting on the in the gutter.
Exactly,
so cab suspension, if you're doing a lot of road work, I can guarantee, give a Merlot a try with cab suspension, you won't want nothing else after you've driven
And
it.
that just pivots at the back there, does it?
Pivots at the back, so it's mounted on 3 points. So we've got a pivot here, so suspended from the back there, gives it the freedom of movement here. And then across the front of the back cab, we've got an adjustable torsion bar that gives us some oscillation and some movement that you'll see across here underneath the plastic guard here. You can see the mount across the front.
Right, so you could just stiffen things up if you needed, if you find you had a bit too much wobble on sort of thing. Yeah.
So it's a true cab suspension, real comfort is the focus
That's
for
it.
us. So.
You can see the amount of travel on it if Chris has a look down here. Well, that's your travel.
Yeah,
there,
it is. Yeah, that's the
effectively.
full range of travel.
Just look in there, that's your range of travel.
So
there you go.
So this is also what we call an HF, a high flow model. So this has got some of the highest hydraulic capacity of any of our machines in the range. Principally, it's all about cycle time. So we're seeing this kind of machine probably going to one of the most intensive applications like loading grain trucks, loading biomass, moving a lot of straw, moving a lot of bulk material.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're looking for big buckets, high capacity buckets. We're looking for the shortest possible cycle time. You know, there's features on this machine like the Eco Power Drive.
Right.
So that allows us to set the engine RPM to the joystick for the control of the boom. So just like an excavator that applies RPM on demand, you can set that on the Merlot independent of your pedal travel. So if you're going into a shed and you're mucking out and you want to go in nice and easy on the pedal, but you want full power to tear that muck out of the shed, you set your EPD up, you can set the power on demand. So when you pull that joystick across to crowd it back, it gives you maximum power, maximum push to get the big forkful out of that shed in one go.
That's it. Like I say, all about those cycle times, especially like say if you are loading beet or you're loading grain, something like that, you're doing those short cycle runs. It needs to be up, it needs to be down, it needs to be back, it needs to be forward.
So this machine, as part of our sort of high capacity range in ag, comes as standard with the extra screen in the front corner of the cab there.
Right, that one or just
on the
over?
right there by the pillar.
Yeah.
So if you want to hop up, you can see we've got a couple of screens in front of the driver. The first one you've got is in between the steering wheel, which is your small display that will focus on engine RPM, fuel level, AdBlue level, etc., the standard kind of bits and pieces in terms of operation. The ASCS screen that we see on the right, an ASCS is our automatic stability and control system that monitors all the performance of the machine in work. We're automatically weighing everything we pick up, so weighing is inbuilt into this part of the range as well.
Would that be an option on a machine like this?
It's standard.
Standard.
So
right.
yeah, if your machine's equipped with ASCS in the Merlot range, comes with weighing as standard. So
Right.
you're displaying the weight you're picking up. You can tare, you can zero your machine, go into your load, tells you what you've picked up. It can log it. You've also got a full display on the screen showing you where your boom's at, where the stability of the machine's at. You can we've got automatic attachment recognition. So we have a sensor in the headstock. If it's a genuine Merlot attachment, there'll be a sensor on the attachment. When you hook the two together, this being a big bucket, it will tell the machine, right, I'll fit in a grain bucket. It will change the display on that screen from pallet forks to a grain bucket. Take off the bucket, put on a muck fork and grab, it will tell it's got a muck fork and grab.
Pretty much just adapt the performance of the machine to
it will change,
match the
absolutely.
/ application.
Because if you're using pallet forks to unload a truck to take off pallets, the last thing you want is maximum flow, maximum tear out. You want nice smooth. So this is going to take care automatically, but you've still got the ability to manually intervene with a jog dial and set those adjustments yourself.
Oh, you give them a tweak.
You can set, like any modern car, you can set your driving style exactly the same with the Merlot system.
And for something like an attachment that requires a hydraulic floor, like a big muck grab or something like that, will it then tell the machine, right, we've got a muck grab on, I want this amount of hydraulic floor now?
So your third service is going to get an extra supply of oil because it knows that when you've basically put on a muck fork and grab, that sensor tells it's got to grab a third service. It will deliver, I should say, a much higher flow of oil to that third service to power that grab down into that tight muck.
Perfect, right. Are you hopping out? Because we'll move. Should we move around?
Absolutely.
We'll keep going. While we're around the front. Axles, braking, diffs.
Absolutely. So at Merlot, we make 92% of the components in any of our handlers, and that does include axles, drivetrain, chassis, booms, cylinders, etc. Now this axle design you can see gives great ground clearance. We've got close on 500 millimeters of ground clearance under the front of that machine. So if you're in the middle of a field, middle of winter, you're up to your axles in mud, the Merlot's going to get you through it and out the other side. When it comes to brakes, Merlot do things a little bit differently. We don't rely upon wet brakes immersed in the axle. We use external dry brakes that are very easily accessible for servicing and maintenance. So anyone that's driven a handler over the years will know that familiar squawk when brakes get hot. And that squawk is usually the first sign that the brakes or the oil is starting to deteriorate. If you don't act upon it quickly, you'll probably know from experience that those brakes disintegrate, they go through the axle and it gets very costly. With external brakes, and with a hydrostatic drive actually dictates you very rarely use the brakes.
It does most of your braking for you anyway,
absolutely. So consequently, we don't really need a high performance braking system because hydrostatic gives a lot of engine braking. It's got the ability to hold the drivetrain and consequently control things on the slope. So.
Well, this hill hold as well.
So if you let your foot off, it will hold the machine on a hillside as well.
What about differentials? What have we got any?
So you've got front and rear differentials on this machine as standard.
Can we lock them both?
Can lock them both.
Cool.
So
I just noticed as well you got your ram on the front actually. You can level this machine.
You can level this machine. So this machine has got frame leveling as well. Again, being one of our sort of high capacity machines. If you're on uneven ground, if you're stacking Heston bales, big bales, you've got the ability to level the machine before you stack.
Especially when that gets right up there.
Exactly.
Yeah. And is it on? I can't remember if you can do this on your ag machines or not, but you can
side shift.
That's the one.
So in ag,
I remember playing the game.
In
Cuneo.
That's right.
In your factory in Italy.
So it's a common feature on our construction range, but also we have certain selected models in the ag range, and they're designated TT models.
Right.
So if you have a TT model, you get boom side shift, and you've got the ability to side shift the boom left to right. So if you're stacking straw, unloading wagons, you have a TT model, you've got that option.
Perfect.
So the 4511, the 11 metre, 3-stage boom machine, you can have it as a TT model with the side shift.
Right.
So we tend to offer that on the 3-stage boom machines because they tend to be the machines stacking straw. So our TF38.10, our TF45.11, they're 3-stage boom machines that tend to have the TT designation.
Got you.
So
yeah, ideal. And then, as you mentioned before, we got, is it FPT on there?
FPT. Oh, actually, someone's locked it.
Someone's locked it.
He says.
So someone's running off for a key.
Actually.
Hey, up, he's found one.
Look at that, in my pocket.
There we go.
There we go.
got one.
Always equipped with a key.
There we go.
So obviously everything nowadays being stage 5, you know, that's been in place now for a couple of years. FPT Iveco 170 horsepower engine. Now the first thing you'll notice that this is quite busy under here.
It is.
And it's generally dictated by the levels of emissions control technology, of course, we all have to have.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge in the design of these kind of machines nowadays is getting all this under the bonnet, because during a regen, this lot's achieving a core temperature of about 600 degrees. You know, hence the padding and the insulation to
Which
try
when
and prevent
this
that.
is working around straw, they're not the best combination.
No. You know, we can't get away from it. The law dictates we have to do it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we're trying to, you know, mitigate that heat and dissipate it effectively or insulate it accordingly. So.
And this will be your 4.5 litre 4-cylinder. This
Yes,
is it?
that's right.
45.
Yep. So
on the angle there, just trying to
on the angle,
things where you what. I suppose you can do that with your hydro.
Exactly, because it's a hydro drive. We don't have a physical gearbox to worry about, a bell housing to worry about. You know, so dead easy in that
Put it
respect.
where you need it.
Yeah.
The old ring of steel.
Ring of steel. So if you do happen to belly the machine out, that's that bar that's going to take the punishment, not the actual frame of the machine. So yeah, it's there to protect things and keep things right, really.
Right. And just going back to your CVTronic transmission.
Absolutely.
Can you control that in various ranges or anything like that?
Yeah, so what it really does away with the need is, obviously with most hydro systems, most of our range, we have a 2-speed hydro, and you would have to make a manual change from the low range to the high range.
Yeah.
CVTronic does completely away with the need to make any kind of change. So it's a 0 to 40k transmission effectively, where the machine is driven from any speed, but you can control that in the screen. You can control the parameters of what speed range you want to work in. So there's no physical switch over. You set the parameters through the ASC screen.
You can set your upper level. And when you do that, as I found on other hydros, when you trim down your top speed limit, it kind of, I wouldn't say it dulls down the sensitivity of the throttle, but basically all of a sudden, instead of this representing 0 to 40k, this is now 0 to 10, so you've got more finite control
on the pedal,
and you'll be able to achieve that with this. Right.
Done.
There we go. Anything else on here, Sean?
I think we've got pretty comprehensive. Obviously, it's as you would expect, 4-wheel steer, 3-mode 4-wheel steering, controlled from the cab, 40k transport speed, maximum speed on the road, type approved for agricultural use. That's the TF65.9.
Love it. Spot on. Time for a drink now.
Sounds good to me.
Are we having it?
Indeed.
Right, good stuff. We'll leave it there, folks.